Sanitizing spray.
Yeah, for the hell of it, connect your computer.
And we're up.
At CEW, we get modern servers needed as flexible, scalable, and predictable. I predicted you'd say that. Okay, what will I say next? Probably something about...
I don't know if you can... Maybe.
There it is, bro.
Oh, yeah. No, what I was...
I know, we're going to find out. I think you can on it. I think you can on this.
So we don't
I don't know
need this
why
at
you
all?
couldn't.
We don't need this at all?
No.
We should take this out.
Well, no, I mean, for right now, it's an emergency. Yeah, you don't have to put it here. I thought you meant like you were gonna take it out to your car and put it in the box, and then put it in the trunk.
Sell it maybe online. What'd you do?
I want to see if she
Do that again. Do that again. Do it again. Now, why?
It's Bluetooth.
Oh, that's why.
That one.
Do it again.
I don't know, why isn't that? Oh, because I'll bet you, because it's also connected through here. That's why, because I'm using this as my
Ask
out.
Shannon if he can hear it.
No, I know why. I'm using this as my out on my computers.
Oh, so then you just simply go Bluetooth into here. Why don't you just connect the Bluetooth?
You mean the USB?
Or the USB.
Because it's already connected. It's putting out too. The Bluetooth wasn't coming through when you did that, but the other one's coming through. That's exactly what's happening. So, in other words, we'd have to use a separate computer because this computer is already set.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's already
Well,
set.
that's what I said. You got to use like your iPad or something.
Yeah, you got to have something separate.
Go grab your iPad and connect it instead of your computer.
But my phone could do it too. Like, I don't have my iPad.
The cool thing about the phone you connected, like I said, you can have a guest call.
I want to
Really
disconnect
good
this.
shape right now. No new stalls or accidents being reported on or off the highway across town. Just a little bit of delay on the Commerce City Drive on westbound 270 between Quebec and Vasquez. And watch out for single lane closures on E4.
God, this is so good. This is so cool. My phone's now connected.
The same could be said for
Yeah, so here's the cool part. If I called you on your phone, how many minutes we got?
Now my phone's connected.
Here, just for the hell of it, let me call you.
Out there, got a high of 84. Right now, mostly cloudy and 67. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 K-How.
Don't miss Lowe's Just for Pros event now through September 25th. Get in on innovative products from atop of each
oh my God,
through virtual product demos and live chats. Plus, get limited time deals in store and on Lowe'sForPros.com. U.S. only.
Grab my call.
Yeah.
Home loans, think ideal home loans. And the help
And make sure you're on Bluetooth.
You want
I
to
will.
work with affordability and what you can make as a payment every month so that you're comfortable and something
I think
that
you're
works
calling
well
our
in your
office.
situation.
Call Brent Ivinson and his team at 303-867-7000.
Now, hold on.
867-7000.
I gotta put it on here. Go ahead.
Help when you need it most. Equal opportunity lender.
I'm on the air. I'm on the air, just like I'm on hold. Just like I'm on hold. I feel like I'm talking to Daphne on hold. Listen,
I got you, man.
We provide honest, personalized
I got you.
bring me up now.
Well, I did. I mean, I'm gonna. Now that I know the
Will
word,
I come through the monitor?
you did. You did come through. I turned it off. You did. You were coming through there.
I didn't.
No, you were. Mark,
That's
you were.
cool.
Paint and much more. Please call 303-GOT-PAINT.
You were coming through. But now I have my sounds on.
But you could actually bring down the caller if you wanted to, right? You could mute the caller.
Yes,
Let's
I
have a
can.
second look at speaker.
Yes, for the air.
You got your headphones, Doc?
Yeah,
You got the level where you want them?
perfect.
I'm here, bro. Can you hear me? Everything good? Level good? Or hot or good? Okay.
All right. Hey, wait, I'm down.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, you just got me muted.
Testing 1, 2. Yeah, I'll bring you up whenever you want to. I'm Martino. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. We are here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and make your life just a little easier. And the other day, I really, when I ran out of Coke Zero or coffee, I really had no one to get it for me. Dan and I were perplexed. We're working hard, doing the show, wondering who's going to run for coffee. So we invited Mark to come here. He's here today, and we got him. He's here with us. So he's not in the Bat Cave. He's here with us. And I'm telling you, we're trying out all kinds of new equipment. Let me turn on your mic too. So now, remember when we used to have multiple mics and we talked? So Dano, I'm going to turn you up too. Then Ants, I'd like to ask you how the audio is coming through on multiples.
Yeah, do we sound good, or do we sound like we're in the same room? Or
remember how it used to crack when we talked at the same time? Is that still happening?
No, you guys are fine. Your levels are a little bit low, though. You might want to turn those up.
Okay, the levels are a little low. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pump it up here on this testing one. Is that better?
Testing 2.
Is that better? Or
Yep.
Okay.
You guys are all good. I got you leveled up.
All right. I don't have you on yet, Deputy Doc, but hold on. It's good. He has his own mic. I don't have to sterilize every time he talks. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now, Lance?
Yeah,
that sounds
we
good.
all have our own mics.
All right.
Just don't make it a habit of talking, guys. And anyway, I'll leave, Mark. Well, actually, I can leave it up if you want or not. We can go to the phones. Anyway, the bottom line is this. You know, since the COVID thing, we've all been remoting, doing the best we can. A lot of people have been doing Zoom. A lot of people have been doing all kinds of different stuff, FaceTime. And it's no secret, we're on a remote location. We kind of like it, though. We actually like it. So let's go to the phones. What do you say? This hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com, RealCBDThatWorks.com, which means if you go to that website, realcbdthatworks.com, use Tom in the promo code, you get 30% off. And it's really good stuff. Yvonne, what's going on with you, Yvonne? How can we help you?
Hello, Tom.
Hi.
I ordered a carport back in June of this year, June 15th, through Coast to Coast Carports Incorporated.
What is a carport that you ordered? Is it like a prefab building that comes, or what? Or is it a contractor that builds it? What is it?
They order it. And they place it on site, I should say.
Okay, so you actually just hire a contractor to put up a prefab carport, and it's a turnkey project.
I wouldn't say it was prefab because supposedly they have, they go ahead and build it to suit for my requirements.
Oh, okay. So anyway, what happened?
I ordered it on June 15th. I was told that what I wanted, it's going to be on concrete and rock. And I told him my dimensions and the amount of space I had. So I went ahead and ordered it.
What do you mean concrete? What do you mean concrete and rock? Does that mean you're going to have, what does that mean, concrete and rock?
I have a concrete driveway, and then on the sides are rock, so it's a level space.
What did they build the barn, or the carport? Was that going to be put on a foundation, or was it going to be put on a slab? What was it going to be put on?
It's actually metal beams, and then on the bottom there's a metal beam to brace it, and then somehow they would stabilize it into the ground.
Okay, so what went wrong?
Well, I received a site plan request from Jan, who is also with the permitting and licensing from Coast to Coast, and the information that I received from her indicated that I needed 5 foot from each property line, which I don't have, and I informed Mike of that at the time that I ordered it. I only have about 3
Yvonne,
feet.
as far as how many feet you need from the property line, that's for erecting it. But as far as your local zoning and building, you have to check with them too. What are the requirements?
I did.
Okay, so the building erectors required 5 feet around the building?
Yes, sir.
And
And they also required it to all be on concrete.
Okay, so what went wrong? Where's it wrong?
I don't have the space that they're requiring for me to get the licensing and permitting.
Okay, so did you bind yourself to a contract before finding that out?
I did. I signed the contract on the 24th of June. I received the site plan information on 8/17.
But isn't there an out in the contract? Isn't there an out in the contract? Okay, I mean, there should be. I mean, how the hell can anyone buy something like this and then you find out you can't put it on your property? There's got to be a way to get out of it. What does the contract provide for getting out of it? Is there a penalty on your part?
No, it says rejection of order and cancellation is the second part of my second page of the contract, and it indicates seller reserves the right any time before installation of the unit and nothing's been done to reject this order or cancel contract by notice in writing to buyer.
Well, no. It says seller. Hold on. It says seller can cancel. Does it say you can cancel?
Contract by notice in writing to buyer.
To buyer. You're the buyer. In other words, it says the seller can cancel. Does it say the buyer can cancel?
It says seller will refund any deposit received from the buyer. Buyer agrees that such refund will be buyer's
Listen,
exclusive.
you're not listening to me, Yvonne. Yvonne, that's all in the event that the seller cancels. Does it have anything at all that allows you to cancel?
I'm not sure, Tom, to be truthful with
Well,
you.
okay, that's what we have to figure out. Yvonne, it sounds like a one-way deal to me. They can cancel, but you can't. And we have to look at it. This is crazy. So if you don't have, hold on, when you were advised that you needed 5 feet around the building, was that before you signed the contract or after?
This is all non-refundable. Every bit of this is non-refundable. It says it right here in the contract she signed.
Mark?
It's a steel building. That's what she bought. And she didn't do her homework before, like it or not. Her setbacks weren't right. Whatever she's saying was wrong.
You bound yourself to this contract, and Mark is looking at it, Dan's looking at it. You bound yourself to this contract without knowing if you could even put it on your property. And it's a non-refundable contract.
Why can't you move it somewhere else on your property if it's a setback issue?
I don't have the room. I don't have a place to put it.
By the way, just out of curiosity, you never checked with your building department either?
I did. With the Colorado Springs, they're very picky on carports. And as I informed Dan earlier, there was 3 carport places that they authorized.
Okay, I just need to know, did Colorado Springs approve it? That's all I need to know.
I haven't put in the permit or request.
So you did everything ass backwards, Yvonne. You signed a non-refundable contract and then hoped you could get it put on your property. Tell me what this company wants if you want to get out of it. What are they demanding?
They're not demanding anything.
Are they allowing you to cancel? Yvonne, are they allowing you to cancel?
To be truthful with you, Tom, I do not know.
Did you ask them? Yvonne, this is pretty basic. You can't fit it there. Did you ask them to cancel the contract yet?
Yes, I sent them a written email on 8/5.
Was the building delivered? Was the building delivered?
No.
What response did you get to the request to cancel?
I hadn't received any response until I spoke to a fellow named Neil at their customer service, and he asked me to give him a day to get it all sorted out, and I haven't heard back from him.
Okay. He didn't say he would do it. He said, give me a date. What does that mean?
No, give him a day to review.
I see. He just needed a day to review everything. And you have his name and number, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then is Deputy B listening?
I believe he is.
Deputy B, if you're on, you might want to take this. Yvonne signed this contract on 6/15. She canceled it right in August. It took her that long to figure out she couldn't fit it on her lot. It's non-refundable. I don't know if they'll be nice to her. Maybe a cancellation fee or something.
This is actually what it says. It says all order payments are non-refundable. The order payment is non-refundable fee, and the customer realizes, and then it lists why it is. So what have you paid so far? Has she paid for the whole thing?
That's a good question. What have you paid so far?
I paid $672.
You're not getting that back. That's going to be the order.
Now, if that's all they will do, if they'll keep that deposit, you'd thank your lucky stars, as my mom would say. That's what you would do. You would thank God for that, and you would just move on. So let's find out from Deputy B what he can do. What was the total price? The total price was going to be how much?
$4,500.
Now, Craig wanted to know if she
Got
can
it right
ask.
soon.
Craig wanted to know, can she ask for a variance? He's calling in about that. Craig, I don't think you understood. Those setback requirements are not from her county or city. It's from the builder. The builder requires 5 feet from each property line. Why, though? This is what's curious. Is it because they have to put equipment on property? Can't you get permission? Why does the builder require 5 feet? Why?
I don't know, Tom.
Well, you see, you may want to say to the builder, hold on. You may want to say to the builder, look, I don't have 5 feet. I have 3 feet. Or I have 2 feet. Why do you need 5 feet? They may say, well, we have to have equipment to put on the property and we don't want to go on the other person's property.
I think they're going to say when they try to pull the permit from Colorado Springs or El Paso, or wherever it is, that they require that setback.
No, Mark, because she signed that contract in June before they even knew where it was going.
But she told them from the beginning,
I
when the
see
guy
what you're
came out
saying.
and looked at the
They didn't
site,
tell her that until after.
they only
Yeah,
had
that's
3
right.
feet.
It's going to be from
Hold
the
on.
county.
This is what we need to know, and I have to take a break. Hang on, we got to come back. I got a lot happening here, and I want to get to all of my calls. Wait a minute.
Here, just home investors in about 30 seconds.
Got it. Okay, listen, Mark, this is fabulous. It is fabulous. This
I'm
is.
gonna get it.
Are you leaving it? Or are you
Yeah. No. What I'm going to do is get an inline switch right here for me.
Yeah, but you know what? When we have, okay, you're not going to need it when we have the console. You're not going to need it.
They're saying you're a little loud on the.
I'm a little
Facebook.
loud?
Yeah, Facebook and YouTube says that.
Well, that's you, though. That's you, bro.
I know I can only do one thing. I can't do specific.
If you want to sell your home and you want to do it quickly, then you want to call this number I'm going to give you. You can get a check tomorrow or the next day. No inspections, no repairs, no fees, no commissions. Now listen, your home might be in perfect shape and you may want to list it with one of our good people. That's a different story. But let's say you got to get out of town fast. In fact, you don't even know. They may match a real estate sale, but you'll never know without calling. This is completely without obligation. Just call and find out. What the hell? It's worth it, right? You may get a check in a few days and not have to go through the whole selling process. Here's the number, 800-44-BUYER. These are the guys we trust. They have purchased thousands of homes already in Denver. 800-44-BUYER. Now listen, here's the deal, Mark. When we're sitting around, I'm not sure we're going to need that. We're going to have a control board here, and we're all going to be sitting around together.
No, but it doesn't matter. If I got one right here, who cares? I can mute anytime I want.
I know. Listen, I wanted to say something. We have a number of different configurations we can do in the studio. What do you think about this? What do you think about a console and having guests and people sit in a talk show setting like a couch and stuff like that?
That's all I've envisioned. Yeah.
Like Stern, with headsets on.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, Doc honestly could be sitting.
I think we buy
somewhere.
headsets, except for the main host. That's what I'm thinking. Now, do you want to be, should we have 2 main ones or 1 main one, and you're going to be sitting down too or walking around with your headset? What do you want to do? And then when you're there, you're out.
You just got to see how much room we're getting.
Well, we have whatever you need. What do you want is what I'm asking. Would you like if I envision just one console, just with somebody sitting there, and then the rest of you like a talk show here around, and you could be right there, and then when you do the show, you're here, see what I'm saying? It's like, but it doesn't.
I think guests literally sit on a couch.
Yeah, I know.
Literally.
I know exactly.
And then I want a chair that vibrates and has a foot massager.
Okay, do you want to be at a desk? Is what I'm asking you.
No.
Okay.
No, I do not want to be at a desk.
But when you do the show, you have to be because you're going to be controlling this.
I'm not going to be controlling that. What do you mean?
Well, when we're when we make our console, who's going to do it? You want him to do it?
Why wouldn't he do it?
Okay, so, okay.
But that's why I'm saying you go to mic switches. You don't need a mic switch because you'll be hot. But it doesn't matter. I still need a mic switch because
everyone needs a mic switch. Technically, everyone does.
Yeah.
But so what I'm thinking is.
But this is good still because you can override the mic switch.
But headsets then would be for everyone, really. We picked a bunch of these. That's what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, these are good headsets.
And then the only one.
We
with
just
a
got to
mic.
get extension.
But when you do the show from the main console, do you want a mic or do you want a headset?
I don't know. I mean, literally wherever I'm going to be sitting, I picture more.
If we all have headsets, that would make it really easy.
I picture something like this. I'm sitting in a chair, and then when I probably put a boom mic here that I use.
Okay.
But you want your computer to go by you.
Yeah, I'm saying, but ultimately I'll be...
So we're going to train, Dan is going to take care of this and that then.
Yeah, there's nothing.
All right.
This is simple.
I know it is.
So
even Dan can. Even Coco the monkey can figure this out.
Well, that's because he's an engineer.
See, here's where we got to have here's where, okay, I'll say this is where we'd be fucked right there because are you hearing in there? Okay, I forget you have that headset. No, this is cool. This is really all we need. We are going to need the tie line, though.
I know.
So instead of going through this Lucy light, we're actually going to have a codec.
And why?
That sends it.
But why?
Because
I'm just curious.
The
packets.
It's way quicker, and it does a lot of corrections if they happen. I don't think we'll ever have any of that weird latency or any of that shit. So that's why.
Okay.
And did you figure out CenturyLink or anything over there yet?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I talked to him. I talked to a guy there. He said he looked into putting in CenturyLink and Comcast, and when 5G came in with T-Mobile, he said he does his entire hangar on it.
We just got to try this on 5G.
Okay.
I'll probably have the first 5G phone here. You guys can't even get one yet.
Why don't I just...
Where's that coffee at?
Mark, it's in here. Bottom. Open that cabinet.
Little one or big?
The little cabinet right there. And then go to the bottom.
Got it.
Can you get me a Coke Zero too?
Yep.
Since you're here, you need to run for...
So honestly, this lady...
Hey, Dan.
I can't keep it clean either. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can't keep it clean.
Hey, Mark.
You should see what I do to his sink.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK,
8255. So Mark went and got me a Coke, and just to be a jerk, he put his hands all over my stainless steel. If anybody looks at the feed here on Facebook or YouTube, you know I have a cleaning rag and a spray I use. People think I'm compulsive, obsessive, OCD with cleaning. But anyway, 303-713-TALK. Paul is with us from WaterPros. I have to ask him a question because this came up. WaterPros.net, he's an expert at water conditioning and water, drinking water filtration for your point of use at the sink. But Paul, I have a very interesting question here. And I thought I wanted to get you on to answer it because I think people might think about this. This is a crazy guy with a man cave, okay? And he said he heard soft water cleans really well. You use very little soap and hardly ever does that spotting, that mineral spotting. Is that true? He has some hot rods. Is that true?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now, there's one factor, and it's called high total dissolved solids. And so, if you have a high TDS level, then, we might have to do additional filtration. But standard throughout the metro area, a water softener will absolutely eliminate majority of the spots, the hardness spots. You have a little bit of water spotting maybe, but that wipes off with your rag. So majority of the car washes in the metro area use a water softener, for example. So
yeah, and not only, but this guy heard with a good detergent made for these cars and soft water, you can virtually scrub it down, spray it, and leave it because the water and this.
That's it.
Yeah. Now listen. So here is his question. He knows you can do a point of use filtration for drinking water. He wants to know, can you buy a small softening system for point of use? He wants to put it in his man cave just where the hose hooks up. In other words, he wants to use it for cleaning stuff. And it's not really like a house. Do you have small systems that somebody can use in that fashion?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, we have small units. Yeah, it's specifically, and they're also, can be used for RVs, right? For folks
Wow.
for the mobile home.
May I ask what they cost, those smaller units?
Probably based upon the water quality that we're filtering, probably right around, $1,500.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. So this guy could literally set up his own little car wash with that water.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's basically a portable system. There's a little bit of maintenance involved. It's going to need the detergent, which is the water softening salt, but that's really no big deal. We have them set up where we can put it on a little cart where it's got wheels, so he can wheel it out to where he.
Oh no, fooling! You mean you can make it portable?
You can make it portable, absolutely.
That is so cool. I can't believe it. So if you coupled that, go ahead.
It's the same time that we also can do for restaurants that have these expensive dish machines, and so they don't have the ability to treat the whole entire restaurant facility, because it's normally they're leasing part of the building, right? So that requires too much work. It's the same kind of system that you would hook up that would help just these dishwashing machines at a restaurant.
I get it.
We call them basically the little miniature units, and you put it on a cart, and the guy wheels it where he wants to, hooks it up, uses it, and then what he'll have to do is plug it in, let it go through a salt cleaning cycle, which takes about 15 minutes, and then it's good to go for the next time.
That's very cool. Now, this is Paul. We call him Paul the Waterman at WaterPros, waterpros.net. I'll give out the number in a second. One other question then. The point of use, of course, filtration is good for those very special use systems and for restaurants and stuff. And then you have point of use filtration. One person wanted to know, and I don't think I'd ever do this, but do you have whole house filtration where all the water faucets have drinking water? That would be, to me, a waste of money. But do you have those? Can you do that?
Yeah, technology is coming up leaps and bounds. We have a whole house cartridge that attacks the total chlorine or the chloramines, and it also will remove those PFOs and PFAs that have been found in our drinking water all over from Colorado Springs to the Denver metro area. So we absolutely have whole house units that will filter that out. Now, this is non-water something, but it's absolutely something that we can work with.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And that's Paul at WaterPros, 303-862-5554. Very quickly now, Yvonne says, when she ordered that building, don't bring Yvonne up, I just want to make a note. She said she told them from the beginning she only had 3 feet. But Deputy B, I would ask them why they need 5 feet. I think it's what Mark said. I think they don't care about the setback. They must have checked with Colorado Springs and then said, lady, for us to do this, we need 5 feet. Because I've never heard of a builder having their own requirement for setback, ever. Now, Phil, what's going on with your BMW?
Hey, how's it going, Tom Martino?
What's happening, man? This sounds like a nightmare.
It is. It actually is. So I took my BMW into Colorado BMW of Denver to get serviced and for a recall, and the COVID hit. The vehicle's been there since January.
Oh, come on. Wait a minute. Do you have a loaner?
I didn't have a loaner, but they accused me of having a loaner, and they said that we're going to have to take further action.
Hold on, Phil, wait a minute, Phil. They said that you have a loaner and you don't have a loaner? That's another problem. Wait a minute. Right now, do they still maintain that you have one of their loaners?
No, we settled that back in January.
Okay. But why do they still have your car?
Okay, so I had a bill of $1,200.
You got a break soon?
To do more work to it, and I said, don't do any more work to it. They wanted to charge me like another $3,000 for a brake booster. That's $100.
I just need to know, under that recall, did they get the recall part done?
They sent a letter saying they did do the recall.
Then why don't you get your car?
And once you told them not to do any more work, why didn't you go get it?
Well, I didn't have the money to pay for the $1,200 of the work that they had already done.
I thought it was a recall.
No.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there a recall that was paid for by the manufacturer?
Yes, it was a fuel pump recall.
Okay, but you had them do additional work, and you didn't have the money.
Yes, there was a brake line.
Okay, well, it's not entirely fair then to blame them for keeping your car. Hold on, I want to figure out why you can't go today and get your car. We got more coming right up. Hang on.
Clear. Joe Lazare in about a minute.
Do you have an extension for these two? You got something that'll give me like 4 more feet here?
A knot of mic and headset together, no.
No, but even if they're separate ones.
No.
Oh, you don't have the headset one, do you? You probably have the mic one.
I have mic cords all day long, but I don't have an extension for the headset.
Yeah.
What do you need it for?
I don't think I do either.
Is this one longer than that?
No, they're all the same.
We're not
No,
using
I just like
We're
another.
using this? No.
I just like
Why does
another
it mark
5
more
or
here?
10 feet.
He can mark.
Well, no, because we can't move the laptops.
No, but you could go right here and I can just go over here.
Okay,
Because we don't need that.
Yeah, I'm saying that I can't fit my laptop. You guys have those all.
I thought we don't need this. We'll shut it down and put her back and you can put your laptop right there.
I can. We're not using it.
Yeah, let's do that, then I can sit there. Then I can control my mic easy.
Oh, should you shut it down and shut it?
Well, it's got a battery, you know.
Hold on. See,
You got Lazare.
Is he making fun of me again?
You got Lazare like right now.
I got it.
Virtual product reviews and live chats, plus get limited time deals in store and on closesforpros.com. US only.
Joe Lazare is a criminal defense attorney that I hope you never need. You know, the reason we have Joe on the referral list is because people did need something for DUI, shoplifting, assault, or a loved one, relative. They'd call and say, Tom, who do you recommend for an attorney? My friend got in trouble, my brother got in trouble, and I would say Joe Lazare. I've known Joe for 30 years. We got him on the referral list, and he gives very good service. Let's face it, life is not always perfect. Sometimes people need help. If you need help, Joe Lazare, criminal defense attorney. And here's a real deal. Never shop for an attorney when you're under pressure. It's insane. What you need to do is shop. Let me do the shopping. I already did. I know him, and he has a great background. Joe Lazare. Here's his website. LazareLegal.com. LAZZARA. LazareLegal.com. 303-429-6200. That's 303-429-6200.
I saw my recording.
Got it. Can you go over any more of your stuff?
What froze? I didn't freeze anything. I don't know what happened. But
What'd you do, Dan?
I don't know what happened.
And walk to my hangar. It's not that far.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, you can. I can't have that because I can't have that many cars at the hangar is what I'm saying.
No. You mean literally at the hangar, but in the parking lot's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like a long way to walk either. It's you know, it's about 200 yards, 100 yards. No, 100 yards.
Well, did you watch Monday Night Football last night?
No, not
It was a
even.
pretty good game.
Not even.
What's
2
going on,
minutes.
Doc?
Oh, I heard.
Did something go wrong?
It was
No,
Raiders.
one camera dropped.
Did
I
they
don't know.
win?
Yeah.
What?
They came back from 14
Bro,
points.
I didn't.
Did they? How many people were in the stadium? Did they say?
I don't think there were any people in the stadium.
Oh, they had 0.
Yeah.
So I'll just might have to bring it up again.
What's your problem? Did it go down?
One camera dropped.
Oh.
I mean, it was freezing up.
I can't find a 5G hotspot anywhere, dude.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying on Amazon I can't.
Oh,
find
no. You go to they sell them at the place.
Oh, here's one right here. Holy
They sell them
shit.
at T-Mobile.
Holy fuck.
What? How much?
This particular one's 400. If it worked, it'd be great, but I don't know if it works.
Well, we got to get one for T-Mobile or for AT&T or whatever. I want to do.
What do you have, AT&T?
Yeah, but I was going to get T-Mobile's for this. I hear it's really good.
This is Kurt Cambier. Visit my website.
I think they all use the same towers, but I don't know.
Analysis at KurtCambier.com. That's Kurt with a K. CAMBIER.
This one, let me see what this one works
Kurt
for.
with a K. Cambier.com. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment.
Do you even have 5G for sure at the airport?
Absolutely saturated.
Investment advisor representative, Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Centennial Capital Partners are not affiliated.
Oh, this is it right here. Look, this one can connect Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T.
So we just get it activated.
This one does all. I would assume you throw a card in.
And what is it showing us there on the surface?
You can't go wrong with a drain clearing for just $9.
What's that?
What is this? What is it showing us?
Your signal strength, your hub, and then Wi-Fi connected.
Gotcha.
PlugLineServices.com. Denver's talk station, 630.
The ratings are there.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. That's all I have to say for the best of the best. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, Frank can assist you. He does a free home valuation. It'll let you know realistically what your home is worth on the open market, what he thinks he can get for it, and it's all without obligation, and it's pretty damn accurate. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Letha has a comment on this carport. Yvonne ordered a carport, later found out she needed a 5-foot setback. She doesn't have one, and now she's going to have to cancel the contract. And we're working on that. But Letha, I think, is that your name, Letha?
Yes.
What's happening?
Okay, I have worked with Coast to Coast carports. I'm on my 3rd carport, and it's not because of them. One of them got hail damage, so I had to have it replaced, and another one, a car hit it, so I got it replaced. She doesn't have to have 5 feet clearance because, like I said, I have one that's 18.5 feet wide and 29 feet long. And I have worked with Coast to Coast. They don't need all that room. All they need is a plug-in so they can use their equipment as they're screwing it in. And I live in the Springs, Colorado Springs, and you don't need a permit because it's not considered a permanent building because it's temporary. It can be taken down. So a permit isn't even needed.
So, Letha, you're talking from personal experience in Colorado Springs.
Yes, sir.
But why did they tell her she needed a 5-foot setback on all boundaries?
You know, my very first one, they told me that too, and that's when I went around and I was trying to get permits and everything. And like I said, I'm on my 3rd one. But, you know, you don't need that 5 feet. And actually, I was like, Yvonne, I had 3 feet. You know what? Because the way they put them on your driveway and in your rocks and everything are big steel bolts. And in the cement, they drill the holes, and then they put the bolts in there, and they screw them down.
These setbacks are from the Pikes Peak building. I'm looking at them.
But okay.
Letha, the setbacks, Mark said, do not come from the company, but from Pikes Peak Building Department.
They're saying it's got to be submitted and approved by Pikes Peak. What this person
Mark's mic is on.
Is it doesn't.
Your mic's not on.
That's only if it's a permanent building.
It's on. It's on. Your mic's on.
No, I'm on.
Okay.
It's made out of metal.
Okay. So listen. Let's do this. Let's find out. Deputy B is looking into it now, but the building department definitely requires a setback. Definitely. And that's what we're talking about. Now, what Letha said about being a temporary building, it's on rails and can be moved or taken down. Because of that, some municipalities overlook temporary buildings, but others have gotten hip to it, and they say, no, you're not going to get a sneaky portable building in here and leave it there forever. So with portable buildings, some municipalities have adopted a length of time they can stay there, and then you got to move them.
Yeah. Understand, this thing that she bought is built on an engineered foundation. She's got to actually pay an engineer to do the foundation as well, and she's got to have a soils test. She bought a steel building.
I know she did. I know. And Letha has worked with them and said they're pretty good to work with. And listen, we'll get to the bottom of it. But Phil, his Beamer went in to what dealer did it go to, Phil?
BMW of Denver.
Is that Sonic?
No, it's over here off of Colorado Boulevard in like.
It's called Sonic. So here's the deal. Phil. You had a recall done. They did it. You had extra work done. That was $1,200. You didn't have the money. Now you say that they are holding your car. Tell me why you can't go over there today and pick up your car.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. So in May, I called and said I have $1,200 to pick up the vehicle, and they had told me that they no longer had the vehicle. They had it towed out of their facility. Gave me tow companies' numbers. I called the tow companies, and they said they never took the vehicle out of their facility.
Did they lose your car, Phil? Did they lose your car?
Basically, and then I called the Denver Police Department and filed an auto theft report.
All right.
And this was on June 2nd. So on June 16th, they sent me a letter saying they're going to do a title recovery on the vehicle.
Here's what I need to know. Phil, I don't want a story right now because this is really serious. I need to know this. Did they locate your car? That's a yes or no.
No.
Okay. So your car right now is missing.
Yeah, it's auto theft. I filed an auto
Then
theft report.
you got to go to your insurance and get a new car.
Why it was already paid off, so I dropped the insurance on it.
Wait a minute. What year is this car? What year was this car?
An 08 BMW X5.
You had no theft insurance, or you had no comprehensive insurance on this?
Nope. I had liability, that was it.
Okay, Phil, the dealer is responsible no matter what. They can't say they're not responsible. What is the dealer saying?
The dealership saying that they don't have the vehicle, and then, like I said, after
I understand that, Phil, but do they say, hey, Phil, we don't have your vehicle, we don't know where it is, go pound salt, it's not our fault?
Exactly, and they even told that to the police officers that did the report.
So it got stolen from there.
Was it really stolen, Phil, or did they have it towed?
They didn't have it towed because the tow company's numbers that they had gave me to call, they had no recollection of that vehicle and had nothing, that never picked it up from their dealership.
Now, I can't believe that a dealership, hold on, is the dealership acknowledging that it was there at one time?
Yeah, it was there, yeah, because, that's where I had it serviced.
And they don't give you any kind of offer to help you at all? Like, hey, we need to replace your car?
Nothing. They said that they're going to file for a title recovery.
What the hell does that mean, title recovery? What does that mean?
They said that I abandoned the vehicle.
No, listen. A title recovery means it's somewhere right now being confiscated. A title recovery means they towed it, and the people holding it now are going to get a title on it because it was abandoned. So you're telling me two different things. You're telling me they don't know where it is, and now you're telling me they're doing a title recovery.
Let's just call over there. He apparently doesn't know what's going on.
Deputy Doc, call over to Sonic BMW on Colorado Boulevard. That's the one that used to be Murray, right, Phil?
Exactly.
Yeah,
BMW.
I believe it's Sonic, but it's a BMW of Denver. Hold on. And Phil, hold on. Daphne will get information from you. We'll pass it on to Deputy Doc. We have more coming up.
Yeah, I'll get both. I got both, yeah. Yes, sir. I love this thing, man. I absolutely love it. Finally, it does everything. No Mickey Mousing. We don't want to do a monthly thing.
No, I'm just seeing how much they run.
I didn't realize they have so many areas of Denver saturated with 5G.
Say what?
They have a lot of areas saturated with 5G.
AT&T or T-Mobile?
Or both? Both.
I'll tell you, when I try and make calls from the AARP thing, and they have AT&T, I'm in a dead zone. I have so much trouble on the phone with AT&T.
Hello. MileHighEstatePlanning.com. Blake Harris is the attorney, and you can take advantage of his knowledge free of charge. That's right. You call this number, and you do an initial consultation that's convenient to you, and he'll answer all of your questions and come up with a plan free of charge. Now, to execute that plan, he'll have flat rates in place of what it will cost, whether you need a will, a trust, maybe you need something to avoid probate, or maybe you don't care about probate. Here's the bottom line. If it has to do with estate planning, he can do it for you. And the new number is now working, 833-ASK-BLAKE, or MileHighEstatePlanning.com. That's 833-ASK-BLAKE, or MileHighEstatePlanning.com. Now let's talk about getting your kitchen counters done. You know that new quartz material? It's so beautiful. Comes in a variety of colors. TheArtofGranite.com handles it, along with granite and any other stone you want, because they're direct stone importers. Here's the deal. You can get a price on the phone, and that price will be pretty close to the actual done deal, within $100, a few $100. He's really good at estimating based on your description, so call him. All the materials wholesale to you. Tear out and haul away's free. The bathroom's free when you have the kitchen done. 303-386-5919. TheArtofGranite.com.
So many people buy these buildings and have no idea what they're doing.
Well, this really isn't a building, huh? It is a carport, but it's got to be cemented. It's got to be at least pegged down. I mean,
it's got to be on cement.
She said
either a full-blown foundation or a pad.
And she told me, or that they said, she told them half and half.
What does that mean?
She said that part of it could be on.
Oh, I thought he had a spot. Go ahead.
Part of it can be on level ground, part of it on cement.
That's not what. Okay.
I know, that's what she said. They told her.
Level ground. Why didn't she just go buy a tent then? A circus tent. I bet Daph's got one. Got it. I missed the best line at Daph. She goes, I used to be a clown. What do you mean, used to be?
And what'd you find on Bitcoin, Doc?
Oh, you gotta look up this website. It's called, Tom?
Yes, sir.
It's called Investopedia. Go to Investopedia.
Investopedia is good.
It has the most detailed explanation
about crypto
of Bitcoin.
Good.
It is, if you can understand it, you can explain it to me. But it explains everything. It's really detailed.
For dummies, you think, though?
Well, maybe for you and me.
Well, they got YouTube things too.
I want for dummies. I never thought of that YouTube. That's what I want to do.
But go to Investopedia first. That will explain everything.
But the thing about it is there is a group that actually oversees it, but it's still it's out there by
what?
Bitcoin. But seriously, go to Investopedia.
No, I already looked at it.
Did you look at the Investopedia one?
No, look at YouTube.
Oh, well, look at that Investopedia one.
It still is like, I don't know, it's out there. Nobody really is the owner of it. That's what I don't understand.
Thank you, Matt. I heard you, bro. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Man, I'm I'm so happy. I mean, this is real. I'm serious. This is so cool. It's so logical. Everything is laid out. Monitor, headsets, gains, mutes, everything we
I
want.
want to break out one mic into a box that'll break out the headphones separately, though. Just so we have that extra thing.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, we're working on a bunch of different stuff.
And this thing with Phil, we're working on it. But, man, it's just weird. He says he took his car to be fixed, never picked it up. COVID got in there, and then he had some extra work done, didn't have the money. Anyway, car's not there. They don't know where it is. Nobody knows where it is. He doesn't have insurance on it. Man, that whole thing sucks. What's on your mind today? 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Billy, what's going on, Billy? How can we help you?
Hey, Tom. Good to talk to you again. I've been listening to you since day one, man.
Thank you so much. What is happening?
I got a Honda CR-V 2008. The radio and the CD player went out, and fortunately it stuck on your channel, and that's the only one I get, and it says ASEL. Where can I go to have it repaired,
Wait,
Tom?
What do you mean ASEL? That's the brand or what?
That's just what it says. It says AM 630, and then it says ASEL in little white letters. That's all it does.
Is it a car stereo? What is it?
Yes, it's my car stereo.
It's going to be way cheaper just buying a new one than trying to find someone to repair it.
How old is it? How old is it?
2008.
Yeah, I think Mark's right. To try to fix that thing, no, in fact, you may want to get XM while you're at it and satellite, but here's the deal. It's not, I would go to like a Car Toys or something. What's the one that other woman went to that she had bad stuff with? Anyway, is Quality Auto Sound still around?
I couldn't tell you, man.
God, these...
I went to them in high school.
I know it. You know the thing about...
Best Buy sells all that stuff. They probably don't have it in stock, but they have full install. They
install it? Best Buy does? Yeah, I would just go to one of the mainstreams, man. We don't have anyone on the referral list, and if we did, it would be probably something for an audiophile, somebody who just does that and that and that, and they can get crazy. Quality Auto Sound is still around. I'm not recommending them. I'm saying we haven't had many complaints about Quality Auto Sound and Car Toys. I mean, for the amount of work they do, we don't get a lot of complaints. Car Toys, Quality Auto Sound, Best Buy, doesn't even... I thought does Walmart have a second? They don't. Do they have installations?
Not installed.
All right. So that's... I wouldn't even bother trying to fix it. Right now...
Okay.
Right now, by the way, it's crazy. Does anyone know, for example, Billy, thanks for bringing this up. Does anyone know who repairs TVs? Now, listen, you can go to Best Buy right now, buy a 65-inch. I think I got it for $4.99. I mean that, Mark. An ultra-high...
You can get them cheaper than that, too.
But for 65-inch?
Yeah,
But anyway, I want to know... I don't know.
I'll pull one up in a minute.
Here's what I want to know, though. We bought one years ago. Okay, when I say years ago, it wasn't that long ago, like 4 years ago. But okay, it's a 60-inch Samsung. Now listen, man, I got a new one, but this one never worked right. It's got a little IR sensor in the bottom right corner. It's not an IR sensor built in behind the screen. It's like a little drop down. It looks like a bicycle reflector, a little mini bicycle reflector on the bottom right corner. It's never worked properly. We'd have to wiggle it to get it to work, to recognize the remote, and it would work for a few days, and then the house cleaners would move it, and we'd have to rejiggle it, and then finally it went out and stopped working. I said the hell with it, and I bought a new TV. But here's what I want to know. That thing is too good to waste. It's a beautiful TV. It's got the smart hub. It's a Samsung ultra high def. And I want to know, where can I get that sensor? Maybe I'll put it in a spare room, a garage or something. But
you don't want the sensor. You want to get either a Fire Stick from Amazon or the other brand, whatever it's called.
And use that remote.
That remote will program right to it. Then it's not, IR. It's going to be...
Wait a minute. But wait, Mark, would it really control the whole TV or just the smart hub?
The whole TV.
Wow, I never thought of that either. See, anyway, but if anyone does know, I'm just curious, are there people that repair TVs? Are there? I don't see why people get them repaired now, right? Because if you know of anybody, let me know. Repairing Samsung TVs or something like that. We got a lot of problems here. Give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have a bunch of people ready to help you with problems, questions, and complaints.
This is Brent Ivan.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Here's a full 65-inch 4K Ultra HD Roku Smart, so you don't have to add a hub to it. It's $429 all day long.
Okay. Is it Samsung?
No, it's Roku doesn't. I don't think build Samsung or doesn't do Samsung.
Was it Magnavox?
This one's Magnavox.
Mark,
They're all.
I hooked this TV up.
They all come out of fucking.
I hooked this TV up, and it says I plugged in the satellite receiver to HDMI 1. Do you know what it did?
What?
It programmed everything, including the remote. I didn't have to all I did was plugged it in. Plug and play. That remote now controls everything.
Here's a Toshiba for $349. Oh, that's 55-inch.
Do you know what? We had a 75-inch we couldn't fit.
Mine's
because it's hanging on the wall.
Mine's 80.
Let me tell you something, man. Those lag bolts going this far, and you can see that thing, man.
Mine's I got the really nice shit though, so I get dark blacks. So it's got these weird pixels. So they're still up around.
You buy TVs, and they go they're like computers. They're no good after a little while. You can't upgrade the Smart Hub either. I hate that.
Well, no, if it's a Fire Stick one, you can.
Well, yeah, because you just get a new Fire Stick.
No. I mean Fire Stick built into the TV. Instead of like Samsung's got their own hub, my TVs literally have Fire Stick built into them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them I've got an actual Fire Stick plugged in.
Is Fire Stick Amazon?
Yeah.
Can you get Apple on it?
It's better than Roku. You can get anything on it.
Anything.
Yeah, they don't.
Is Google TV still around?
I don't know. Well, if you mean Chromecast, it is, but it's not made for that. It's you get anything on your phone or computer,
Okay,
you
listen.
can send it.
I got sound effects I'm going to try to find here. Oh yeah, here they are. I want to see what happened.
That clapping one's actually pretty good. I like that.
Oh, that's built into the thing? I guess I'm built right in.
Yeah, it's got some. Give it to me.
I can't.
We'll reprogram the sound effects.
There it is. Hold on.
That'll drive him crazy. You move one from here to there.
What? Why can't I hear it? Oh wait, it's muted.
What is? There you go. I can hear it right here.
Okay, so I have my sounds here.
Is this your water?
That was already open. I'm a little sketchy with you fuckers.
No, that was yours, Dan, from last night. You never.
That's what I was.
No, it was. You never touched it, and I left.
No. The cap was open.
Dan, it was yours. I swear to God, you left it there, and
you must have opened it and put it back together.
I really did leave it for him.
Oh, he was trying to give you the COVID.
It ain't good. It ain't good.
That's an odd window right there. I've never noticed that before. Oh, I see. They made one over here too. Okay. Now I'm okay with it. It is a weird bay window. Why'd they waste that space there?
Right.
Why is
To
it?
put it up there, why didn't you just make it flush, you're saying?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. So they can put something on there.
Why is there two fucking walls here instead of one is what I want to know. Right there where that bay window is.
I don't know.
Isn't that weird? Why is there two walls instead of just one exterior? For what purpose? In fact, it would give you a bigger mantle.
Oh, this one doesn't have a bay. This is the flush one over there.
That's because there's a room. There's got to be a room over you guys there.
Oh, no. Oh, no, that wouldn't matter.
Is there a room over your kitchen?
A what?
A room.
Oh, there's something.
Is there a room above you?
Let me think. Over there.
Maybe not.
Yeah, the bedroom. Dolce's bedroom, right?
Yeah, so there's a bedroom.
No. Dolce's bedroom stops there. Wait. It doesn't go. What is over this?
That's why we're asking you. I wonder why they didn't bolt it.
I don't know, man.
Actually, I mean, I say that. That's like our kitchen. That's 15-foot fucking ceiling. But, what is that, 12? Let's see, I'm 7'2".
Due to COVID-19 numbers rising on campus, CU Boulder is
I like these big.
Oh, shut the fuck up with your fear.
I like these big, these fucking big doors.
No, go in here and look and see if there's anything up there.
That's what I'm doing.
Stephanie says online learning will start tomorrow for undergraduate, graduate, and law classes. COVID-19 cases have been rising on campus, and that's been a common theme in other colleges around the nation.
I wonder why they didn't almost both.
Senior students were asked to self-quarantine.
Oh, I do.
Days that came down just last week. Colorado GOP Senator Cory Geiger says he will vote to confirm a qualified nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court.
With the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg on Friday, there's a vacancy on the High Court. Senator Gardner finally broke his silence and said he will vote for a candidate that would protect our Constitution, uphold the law, and doesn't legislate from the bench.
State sports Rockies meet the Giants in San Francisco. The Nuggets meet the Lakers in NBA.
I'll call my the electric guy I trade out with when you want it. Or do you already have it?
This report is sponsored by the From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, travel around the metro area for the most part in decent shape. Got a crash there on the westbound side of I-76 approaching I-270. It looks like the vehicles are off to the side of the highway there. Just travel through that area with caution. Off-highway crash in Phoenix stages at 56th and Peoria to watch out for. And down south, getting reports of crash approaching the Gap northbound I-25 approaching Greenville. Looks like the left lane is blocked due to a multi-vehicle crash.
Nice top
delays
line
there.
for 5
The weather forecast. Going to be a 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms.
So we hardly use the deck.
With a high of 84.
Would you put it on the deck?
74.
No, underneath.
Your
Yeah,
impact
Probably couldn't.
we have the same deck underneath. It's really nice. Well, furniture. We have a lot of decks.
Starting at $249 per night for the month
Just
of
Debbie?
October. Visit Baltimore.com today
Hold on.
for details.
No, it's not a troubleshooter.
Well, I do have a general for him to sign in, but let me just I gotta get my email up.
I gotta send it.
Yeah, that thing works really good.
Because of someone else's
That is the bomb.com.
whatever it takes to make sure that
Here's his email.
is
It's
told and proven. And
Probably won't want to say it.
It's
compensation is large. Call me up.
I know what it's for.
what?
Donating more food to local food
Phone
banks
in.
through our partnership
And by the way,
with
Mark,
America.
this right here, this right here,
But we can't
this
do
right
it
here
alone,
is
and we hope you'll join us. Hunger,
return.
zero waste. Visit the
Alright, back on about 30 seconds, guys.
can help.
what I mean is, we can
Yeah, but it
cut
shouldn't
out,
be returned.
it cut out, well, it does.
You know what I love? A ride when it's time to head out.
It's
Look.
very odd.
Time to go home.
I wonder, that makes no sense.
Because it's in USB. It's USB in. Anything coming in through USB. So this takes the
So
signal.
you couldn't really connect. Oh, you just use a Bluetooth.
Listen, this takes the signal
Yeah.
and sends it to here via USB.
I got it.
This controls anything in that port. This controls anything in that port. This controls any. I'm telling you, man. So where's the direct input for that?
Right here.
Your troubleshooter. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe where we are fighting for you. We're solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. And this hour brought to you by RenewHomeInnovations.com. RenewHomeInnovations.com. American standard wall systems that look like natural stone, but they're crushed stone with resin. And the thing I love about them is they require zero maintenance. And you can get the beautiful bathroom and shower area done by RenewHomeInnovations.com. And he has great sales. Right now, 25% off. 25% off your shower. It's a beautiful shower. They're all custom made for you. RenewHomeInnovations.com. Okay, so we have some really odd problems going on. One was a car missing. Can you believe that? A car missing. And it's just brought in for service and then gone. And that's from Sonic? That doesn't sound like them. Sonic it used to be Murray Motors, right? And they had Mercedes and Beamer and some others. Now it's, they call it Mercedes of Denver and BMW of Denver, and it's owned by Sonic. It's also called Sonic. Now, the other guy had a CB radio, not a CB radio, a car radio along with a, did he have a DVD or something, a CD player, I mean, and he wanted to get it fixed, and I said it's probably cheaper just getting it replaced. It's an '08 car. Adam's got a comment on that. Go ahead, Adam. What's happening?
Afternoon, Tom.
Hey.
Good afternoon, Tom. Thanks for your time today. I've been
What's
listening
going on,
for
man?
30 years. And
Thank you. Adam, love all these longtime listeners. What's going on?
Long time. I'm only 42 years old now, so a long time. Anyways, I'm curious on the gentleman with the auto. Is it auto select? Does he maybe have a feature that's selected that he can't shut off? What about unplugging the car battery, waiting a few minutes, plugging it all back in, see if it goes away?
You know what? You know what?
Else.
That is a great idea. I never thought of that because they don't actually reboot when you turn the car off. They have phantom power, I think.
Right.
And if you know, that's a great idea. You withhold the battery, but I do believe they have an internal battery. I thought they had an internal.
Yeah, but if it was built in '08, that internal battery can't be that good anymore. That's 12 years old.
You know what? That's a great idea. I hope he's listening. And what so if he could go and get that thing rebooted by unhooking the battery cable, that would be good. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Go ahead. Adam, you have something else. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sorry. So I've got a problem. Back in December of 2019, I traded off a car and for a new car. And now fast forward to June, my credit union, who was financing the old car, couldn't find the title. And so the dealership wants the title to the car I traded off, but the credit union can't find it. Apparently, back in 2018 when I bought that car, the car that I traded off when I bought it, they never went and applied for title. My question is, whose promise is at this point?
Well, it could be either. Adam, when you took out this loan, they were supposed to get a title with them listed as a lien holder. They never secured the loan ever?
The loan was secured. They never secured the title. Yes, sir.
Well, the loan wasn't secured unless they had a title lien.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You're absolutely right. That is correct. But I kept paying on it, like monthly payments on the car.
So now they never got a title lien. So the original title, where did it go? Was it sent to them for them to send in and get their name put on it?
I believe so. The car was a lease, and I bought it off lease.
So the car was on lease, and were you going to finance it with the same company that leased it?
No. I bought the lease out through my credit union.
Okay. The credit union was supposed to secure that title. Did you go back to the leasing company to see if they still have your title?
They were able to pull a duplicate title.
Good.
But my name is nowhere on that title.
Well, yeah, it's the leasing company on it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I know, but the leasing company is not claiming to own it, are they?
Correct. No, they are not.
Then your title, your credit card, your credit line or credit union should get that title and process it. But right now, they don't have a lien on it anymore, do they, or do they?
They do not, because I traded that car off.
And it was paid off, right? And it was paid off.
Yes.
So, really, this is kind of everybody's problem. I mean, you could point the finger anywhere you want, but you need to get them a title. But what's the big deal? If they get a title, you'll sign it over to the new owner. What's the problem?
That's exactly what I'm trying to figure out. How do I go to the credit union to get the title? They've got a copy of it, and it only says the leasee name, Honda, on it.
I know, but will the leasee company sign it over to you?
Yes. And so the credit union is obtaining power of attorney on behalf of Honda to sign the title over. The question is, do we sign it right to the dealership, or do I have to get in the middle?
Well, you got to get in the middle because you technically owned it.
Yes, that is correct. Okay.
So it's going to be signed over to you. Then you're going to sign it over to the dealer, and that dealer is going to, because you're not allowed to skip title, then you're going to sign it, the dealer's going to sign it over to the new person who bought it.
And you're going to have to pay registration and whatever taxes. if any taxes are owed.
And that's a good point. And so then does the credit union owe any money on those taxes because they're a muff-up?
Well, first of all, for just a transfer, the only time you pay tax is when you bring it in to get plates. I don't think they're going to sock you for that.
He said it was a lease, though, right? A lease buyout or
yeah,
no?
but he paid the tax when he bought it.
No, well, it depends. You pay a portion of the taxes.
No, not on the lease. He bought out his own lease.
Yeah, okay. Then he should have paid him then.
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
That's a correct statement. The taxes were not paid.
Yeah, so he's going to owe the taxes.
The credit union never paid the taxes.
The credit union never paid the taxes?
Correct, and they never bundled it into the loan.
But that's you say the credit union, but it's still you.
Yeah, it is you. If those taxes were never paid, you owed them. Even if they didn't collect on it, that's not an excuse. It's still owed by you. Now, I think the title company should pay any penalties there might be, but you owe the tax. You would have owed it back then. You owe it now. It's just that you skated. You were expecting to build in those taxes to your loan, and they didn't. Man, that credit union really dropped the ball.
Who is it? Which one?
Apparently the guy got released after it.
What credit union is this?
One out of Greeley.
Okay. Listen.
So should I get the title from them and take it in to basically pay the taxes directly to the county and then...
See, I wouldn't do any of that. I wouldn't do any of that. I would get the title and ask the dealer I would just get the title signed over to you. Once it's signed over to you, I would try to go to the dealer and sign it over to them and see if you can do that.
Okay.
The dealer will know more how to handle this than you will.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
I would, but
agreed.
the very first step is just getting the title in your name. Then you go to the dealer and say, how can I help you? And the dealer, because you really have to help the dealer will then tell you what to do. And if the dealer tells you to go to the county and do something, then you're going to have to pay. But I wouldn't voluntarily offer to pay anything until somebody brought it up.
And the dealer has never come back after me saying, hey, we need title on this car. I was only brought aware of this issue back in June when the credit union said, hey, sign this paperwork, which I signed when I bought the loaned the car out, purchased the car out.
What a mess.
So
what a mess.
It's a disaster. So okay.
But I would simply get the title in my name and sign it over to the dealer. Let the dealer handle it from there. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Busby is on right now about a trust fund, and I'm not sure what it is, but let's get started with it. Busby, what's happening?
Good morning, Tom.
What's happening?
I have an ex-daughter-in-law who has 2 children before she married I lived with my son for a while. And hold on,
Busby, hold on. You have an ex-daughter-in-law that you said lived with your son. Did they ever get married?
No.
Then why are you calling her an ex-daughter-in-law?
Well, she was with him for 7 years or longer. So
did they
live in or whatever?
Did they consider themselves married?
My son died in 2012. So anyway.
I understand. Did they consider themselves married?
We got a break soon.
Oh, I don't know if they did or not. They ran all over the world.
Okay.
So anyway, my question is that the 3 kids, they had a grandmother in Denver who was quite wealthy, and she had left all 3 of the kids a substantial amount of money.
Are those kids?
However, the 2 older kids.
Part of this is what I want to know. Of the 3 kids, how many of those kids were your sons?
1, the one, just 1.
Okay. And you and now the 3 kids were left money, and you want to know what?
I want to know the 2 older kids. Their father is the trustee, and they have been. He has been, we think, or they think that he's been dipping into it because he won't discuss it with the kids. And one boy just turned 18 and the girl is 16. And so now they're wondering why their dad won't discuss it with them. And so they want to know because
Got a break?
Okay, all right, we have to take, Busby, we have to take a break, but I want to ask a very short question. Why are you involved in this if it has to do with a woman that you're not related to and her 3 kids?
I'm not involved with it at all. She is very timid, and she wouldn't. I gave her your number, and she didn't call you.
So you still speak with her. You're still on good terms.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
and are you kind of like a grandma to those kids?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now I understand. Hold on, we'll come back and try to figure this out.
Fuller Law in 30 seconds.
I don't understand why that guy was labeled a trustee. Why wasn't the mother labeled a trustee?
What are you bitching about?
Why wasn't the mother the trustee versus the
No, because it was a grandmother that died.
Yeah, the grandmother died.
It was probably his mother. Probably his mother. And she named her son the trustee.
Gotcha. She left it all to
I mean, I'm assuming it was probably them.
You know what happens when you assume. Make an ass out of Dan.
Let's talk about getting injured. If you're injured and you need help, what do you need? You need an attorney to ask questions. You can ask questions if you're injured free of charge of Fuller Law, John Fuller. He's a personal injury lawyer. It's that simple. If you're injured, call him for free information and free legal advice. That's right, because that's called an initial consultation. If you decide to hire him, there's no obligation, but if you do, you still do not have to pay out of pocket because he collects only a small portion of what he collects for you. That's called contingency. PersonalInjuryCO.com, 303-597-4500.
Did you talk to the Beamers?
No, but I want to ask you guys something before I call them. What do you hear this story?
Oh, we already know he fucked up.
Okay, I'm going to take off the sound effects on this. I'm going to hook this up another time with my iPad, like you said.
Okay, you got a minute to listen to this?
Yeah, I do. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on.
Hey, another thing.
Okay.
Do you remember that one young girl who got T-boned and then the guy took off?
Yeah.
You remember that? She got T-boned and the guy took off. So she is going to John Fuller.
Oh, good.
Yes. And then I got her another $500 on her car.
Let's say they call.
And
you got her what?
He wouldn't know that. I was doing the show.
Oh, you did the show? Okay.
Yeah,
but what about it?
So
she was injured big time.
No, she wasn't. She just had some injury, not big time.
Well, she said she went to the doctor 3 or 4 times since a fucking accident.
It was 2 months ago, but she is going. That's a good thing. Yeah. She is going to John Fuller.
Yeah, I knew that was a direct handoff.
No, it was questionable who she was going with.
No, she wasn't going to go with any attorney till I fucking told her to. What do you mean, yes? I remember.
No, she had.
I couldn't believe she didn't eat an attorney.
You want to eat anything or not?
She had called him up.
But if I order, you want to eat anything or not?
No.
No, she wasn't going to go with, because the 2 attorneys before said no. So she finally, and she's only, I think I could have got her more for a car, but she needs to get money to buy a car. So she's selling, just like you had said that before. If you want your check, you're going to get screwed by the insurance company.
Yeah, and I told the other person's insurance company, fuck you, I'll wait forever.
And then I told her she needs to go after that guy.
You know what? No more fucking F-bombs, dude. You got to watch your fucking mouth. Look at you, mini Cokes. Does that make you feel better?
Mark, it's the only thing I can buy.
Oh, they don't have regulars?
You can't find Coke Zero.
Oh, really? Coke Zero only comes in
If you find it again, will you let me know?
You want a Maxi?
No, you're right, though. All we ever see is a Diet Coke.
I know it. They're doing away with Coke Zero or something.
I heard it gave people cancer that are on any form of hormones.
Buy a pallet.
Hey, so, by the way, get up. So my blood count came back. Still fucking sky high. Right? Now listen to this.
He's got multiple in each ass, I bet.
No, so listen. This has been 5 months since I used to get it at 4 months. Right. It's been 5 months and my testosterone is 1180. Still. So he said, you could be 800 or 900, I'll be satisfied. You don't have to be 11, 12. He said, that's what's making you even piss even more and do all that shit. Because it irritates you. Plus, it's fucking with my blood. that's where hormones can be dangerous if people
Right.
don't.
I agree with that. I mean, that's a big thing. Everybody just started giving them off and stuff. So I like that because you can control it.
I like it that I requested it. He was all ready to do it and said, you know what, I'd rather test you first. He says, you're way too high.
You know, they'd never, I'll tell you what, they're not going to overturn Roe v. I do not think, I don't care who's on there. They know for the country it would be fucking the worst thing.
The only thing they were talking about maybe is giving it back to the states.
Well, yeah, even there so, but that's where it comes back to Roe v. Wade, though.
Yeah, but you know what? They shouldn't probably. As much as listen, it's such a hot topic.
I know, it's crazy.
And I personally know how I feel, but I don't know if I have the right to impose that.
To me, it always came down to, if you know that kid would have, I mean, horrible issues, like missing arms and shit.
No, there are some that won't only be viable for a few weeks.
That kind of stuff is like,
but then there are people, though, that at all costs, no matter what.
Oh, they would never.
But I never talk about this publicly, but how can you tell someone, oh no, you must do that?
No, you can't, because it's a late, yeah, especially if it's only 2 weeks.
An iHeartRadio station.
But that late term stuff, man, that's crazy.
You know how many people believe that late term stuff? 1/10 of 100.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Deputy Doc, any follow-ups? You're making a lot. No? Okay. Too what? Way too complicated. Is it?
Can't hear Doc.
Yeah, try to explain it. Get that headset on. Come on, we're all into complicated. I'll make it simple. Now, this is the Sonic thing, right? Hold on, let me turn your mic on, Doc. Okay.
I called the guy who was a bonding agent. So here's the deal. They had it was done, it was ready to be picked up in November.
In November?
Yeah, listen. It was ready to be picked up in November. They owed $1,200. They never picked it up. In May, they sent them a certified letter saying that 30 days to pick up the car. The other complication is that they owed $13,000 to the bank, which they had not been paying for that whole time. So the bank said, we don't want anything to do with it. They told the dealership, we don't want anything to do with it. He reported stolen in May. The car was never stolen. It was going through a bonding process. They got no response.
A bonding process? Why?
To get a new title.
From who? Who was doing that?
This guy's a bonding agent.
No. Oh. But who is going to get a bond? Somebody has the car. Who?
The dealership. I assume. I didn't talk to the dealership
yet. The dealership claims they don't have it, but go ahead.
Right. The car was never picked up. He owed $13,000 to the bank.
All right, so for those listening, and I hope he's still on, but he may not be. Okay, he brought the car in November. He said it was back in January. He said the car was paid off, free and clear.
They owed $13,000 to the bank.
Oh, wait, he wasn't the one. That was another deal.
Right.
Well, he said it because that's why he didn't have insurance on it.
Oh, that's right. He said it paid off and he didn't have insurance on it.
Well, according to the bonding agent, he owed $13,000 to, let me get you the bank.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead. So this guy told us a bunch of different lies, basically.
Right.
So he wants us to try to get his car back.
And, right, he owed $13,000 to Compass Bank in Birmingham, Alabama.
All right.
Where are we going to go on this? There's nowhere.
Nowhere. He lost the car and he should have.
Right.
I mean, I think they repossessed it. If not, man, this is a mess. He ought to be lucky they're not coming after him. You know, the guy wants his car. Like I said, you ought to be lucky they're not coming after you. Now, we got to get to this. Now, Busby has a trust fund issue. Busby says let's just simplify it. She's got 3 grandkids, okay? They have a trust. It doesn't matter who's the father, who's the mother. These kids have a trust administered by their biological dad, or the biological dad of 2 of them, but it's administered by a father or stepfather. And he won't talk to the kids about it. So, Busby, just some very quick questions, and I'll get an expert on here. How old are the kids?
The son is 18 and the daughter is 16, and the younger one is 10.
And that's the one that okay, never mind. So we have 3 kids that have a trust. How do they find out about it? Because the dad the dad / stepdad or whoever he is, this dad will not talk to them about it. And so, what do you do, Blake, in general? What do you do? Blake Harris, attorney at law, milehighestatePlanning.com. What do you do when there is a trust and a trustee that's not communicating? How do you even find out about the terms and conditions or find out if he's been cheating? I mean, who's accountable to who?
Okay, so first of all, your right as a beneficiary under the trust. You have 2 rights as a beneficiary under the trust. Number 1, you have a right to receive an accounting once per year or upon reasonable request. So once a year, the beneficiaries, or if they are minor beneficiaries, their legal guardian should have received an accounting of everything that has come into the trust and everything that has gone out of the trust and how assets are managed. So that's one thing that the beneficiaries have a right to. If they have not been getting that and they're not, and with a request they don't get it, then you should file with the court and have the court order that the beneficiaries receive that. The second part that you have a right to as a beneficiary of a trust is the relevant portions of the trust documents needed in order to protect your legal interest. So you don't necessarily have a right to...
Yeah, but what if the trustee is not cooperating, the guy in charge?
Then that's when you bring in the guns. Hire an attorney to sue the trustee, get the court to compel them, and then if they don't comply with the court order, the court will remove them as trustee, and then you can have them held personally liable for any mismanagement of the trust.
All right, now how easy is it for a trustee to take money for himself?
It's actually pretty easy. You, as a trustee, have the power to anytime you want. You do not have the right, you do not have the authority, but you have the power to take the money out of the trust and put it in your own pocket. And it goes on all the time. It keeps my office very busy. Picking the right trustee for your family is one of the most important decisions you make when it comes to creating an estate plan.
Hey,
so,
Buzz,
it's not hard at all for a trustee to mismanage.
Busby, how much was supposedly in this trust when they formed it?
Pardon me again?
How much was in the trust, do you think, when they formed it?
The trust was $200,000.
Okay. So 600,000?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the mother of these kids, she needs to get an attorney to sue the trustee because her ex-husband is not cooperating, right?
Right, absolutely.
Do you think he spent the money?
Well, he has bought, they said he bought a new truck for $25,000, and now they said it is coming out that he and this woman bought a property in Pueblo, and so we don't...
So
I
good.
mean, I just
Is this trust in Colorado?
Yes, it is.
This daughter-in-law that you talked about that you have, she's very timid. Would she talk to Blake Harris? Would she talk to Blake Harris? Can you get her to talk to an attorney about this? Does she care if her kids get what's rightfully theirs?
Well, yes, she cares, but I gave her your number and asked her to call you, and she did talk. Had the lawyer, the lawyer that drew up the trust fund, she called him, and he said, "Well, nothing I can do because it's interest of something of interest, you know."
Wait. There's nothing he can do. Why, Blake?
If you draft a trust document and it becomes litigated or there's a dispute over it, the wise thing as an attorney to do is step back and not get into any dispute that arises among the beneficiaries and trustees. So if there's a dispute among it, then that attorney is going to want to wash their hands of any dispute. They may be called in as a witness or some other role in the trial.
Got a break soon.
All right, listen.
For one party against the other.
Listen, Busby, if she's not willing to help, that one guy that's 18, that one child that's 18 can hire Blake. Somebody needs to hire Blake. Somebody needs to at least talk to him. This guy is stealing from them. So there's nothing we can do about it if she won't help her kids or if that 18-year-old won't take action. Do you have the ear of the 18-year-old? Is that a yes or a no?
What was that again?
Can you talk to the 18-year-old? Do you think he would hire an attorney?
Well, I talked to him, and they don't know in which direction to go.
Got a break?
Okay.
I thought I would call and find out if there was someone that they could turn him into.
No. There are no trust police. If you don't take action, he gets away with it. Okay? He gets away with it. So if those kids don't hire an attorney for an accounting, then they're screwed. So they're going to give up $600,000. It's just going to wash away, and this guy's going to live happily ever after. So you better tell your daughter you talk to me, your daughter-in-law. Talk to that 18-year-old. If they want to talk to us, please tell them to call, and we would gladly explain it to them. Meanwhile, they should contact milehighesstateplanning.com or Blake Harris. Really, Busby, they need to call them. 720-924-6171. More coming up.
Clear, Simply Floors, Flexident, minute. You doing both?
This is Denver's talk station.
Hey, Tom, you doing both of these?
Yeah. And Dan Kepler in the afternoon, 6:30 at KHOW.
She was confirmed in 19 days.
Now,
this report is sponsored by the Broadmoor. From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, let's start off with the good news down south in the Gap. That crash northbound I-25 approaching Larkspur, that's been cleared out of the way. All lanes are back open. Now let's get back into town. We got a fresh crash on the westbound side of I-70 at Dahlia, backing you up to Fort Beck, so just watch out for delays there. Crash being cleared westbound I-76 approaching I-270. It's off highway, but watch out for a little bit of curiosity back up on that stretch. The weather forecast. Well, it's going to be mostly sunny, about a 30% chance of afternoon thunderstorms on the Highway 84. Tonight, thunderstorms early, then mostly cloudy.
I didn't realize she was
right now, it's mostly cloudy and 74.
I just
impact traffic and weather. I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-House.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, for a new office view, let the Broadmoor be your home away from home. With rates starting at $249 per night for the month of October. Visit Broadmoor.com today for details.
But you see,
SimplyFloorsInc.com. That means you go to that website and you make your own appointment and you get severe discounts in floor coverings. All the latest floor coverings, LVT, waterproof carpeting, engineered floors, hardwood floors, whatever you need they have, and they have great pricing. They pass on savings to you and hire some of the best installers in the business. SimplyFloorsInc.com. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Isn't it time you get that hail damage fixed the right way? FlexidentofColorado.com. You don't even have to leave home. They have free pickup and delivery or rental cars available. Call them for details. 303-619-6273. The process used to be more complicated where you had an adjuster come and make all the approvals. Now all you do is call your company, get a claim number, and then let Flexident take care of the rest. FlexidentofColorado.com, 303-619-6273.
Homeowners,
Clarence Thomas, they beat the shit out of too. What? How?
These are signs of
don't you remember?
When
Anita Hill.
You could hear it on a Coke can?
Was that long dong silver?
That was Thomas, right?
1 to 2 days
Yeah.
at half the cost of a plumber with a lifetime
They said this
guarantee.
was some of the best
Free
it's
internet
had.
estimate.
This will be a lot harder to go after a woman now. It's gonna be, oh, she raped 5 kids in high school. I can hear it now.
Hey,
She tied them down.
Mom, she has 7 kids. When did she have time to do anything? 2 of them are adopted from Haiti. Oh, okay.
I don't want Mike waiting too long.
She's a
I mean,
good person.
do you think he would be available next hour or not?
To find it, because his story is totally different. Let's get him on and rake him over the coals.
I
I'm
can't.
going to talk to the dealership before I do that. Because there are still missing pieces. Well, who did you talk to find out there's $13,000? This guy, Ed Cassavelli, who the dealership
got in touch with them.
When it comes to kitchen
They wanted to get paid, so they were going to basically sell the fucking car. Then they figured out this guy already owes more than what the car's fucking worth.
He said the car was paid off 4 years ago.
Well, it doesn't matter what he said.
And that's why he didn't
Did you
have
talk?
I did. And in fact,
He swears to God he paid it.
yes. Because I'm calling, I left a message to deal with the service manager to call me.
I don't think you can pull an O&E on a car.
Well, Carfax.
I don't know.
And Carfax shows liens on the car, right? Or not?
Yeah, let me talk to the dealership and see
I don't
what they
know.
have to say.
And then if you, I don't get it. So if I paid off my car, the credit union would report to Carfax that it's been paid off?
Or new owner, it goes to new owner, right?
Or, I'm talking if I paid it off.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
There'd be no switching a title.
You can do a title search on it, on a car.
It would be a switch of title, right? Isn't it title?
No, it's in my name with a lien on it. They'd release the lien.
You can do a title search on it.
Special interest will be lining up to bid on Hickenlooper all over again.
Oh, that old Hickenlooper, he's all over, flying all over the world on our dollar.
But he doesn't want to be a senator because he's not good at it.
He was good at making beer, but man, I don't know about this guy.
That one,
How come when they do ads like that, though, they get some fucking redneck hillbilly to do it?
I know.
Makes us all sound like fucking morons.
What's his name? The other senator, the Republican, he had a beer, says, leave beer making up to Hickenlooper.
Do you know that? The Emmys had the all-time lowest audience?
Yeah, I heard that. I just heard that this morning.
I didn't even know it was on until you mentioned it.
And they're not forgiving taxes. Back tax problems
Yeah, no, I heard
Well, you know what, though?
Well, people
What
are
fucking
talking about-
movies? Emmys are movies or no?
No, Emmys are TV.
All TV. But yeah, some are movies.
But what the
but
fuck
it's all
have they
TV.
done? Because of COVID, what new shit is there? Or are they voting on shit from a year ago?
No, from last year.
It's 2019. I mean, 2000.
So next year's will be virtually zero.
That's right.
Because there's so little new content. But people, I think they get the thing. People are just tired about all the politics.
Oh, and when you talk,
We should submit our YouTube videos.
Vote for inclusivity. Vote for inclusivity. They don't say Republican American. They say that's the only way we're going to change things. So what do they mean by that? Tell me the most. Tell me the most exclusive people you've ever heard about in your life.
I'm pretty exclusive.
You are.
You know what I mean?
It's the movie producers in Hollywood who won't hire conservatives.
720-488-8604.
Looks like Tesla, this million-mile battery is not exactly what they were thinking, huh?
Oh, did you get that? What do we think?
He came out today warning people it's not what they think, so the stock dropped 5%.
He's a liar.
SEC should be on him like freaking stinking on a monkey.
I know it.
Now, why are you going after monkeys like that?
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, listen. I can't believe so we call this guy who said he took his car into Sonic BMW. He said in January, he took it in November. He didn't pay for a repair. He never picked it up. He called him in May. They say he owed money to a bank. Deputy Doc talked to him, and Deputy Doc, he said absolutely positively he owes no money at all, right?
That's correct. And what the intermediary said, he gave me the name of the bank, which was Compass Bank in Birmingham, Alabama, who had the loan. So I'm going to talk.
Right now, we don't know what the truth is.
Right. I'm going to talk to the dealership and to the detective to whom he reported the car stolen and get the final details.
All right. We'll figure this out. Now, car accident. Denise, she doesn't know what to do. Denise, explain what's going on, Denise.
So on the 11th, Friday, on my way to work, I was making a left on a light, and a car ran a red light and hit me, T-boned me right in the driver's side.
Now, by the way, did they get a ticket for running that red light?
I think they did. The police officer that went to visit me at the hospital said that it was his fault, that there were witnesses there that said that I was making the turn on a green.
So what do you need right now? Are you injured?
I just have trauma to my muscles, just sore from the airbag. Luckily, nothing broken, nothing internal. So what I need is some advice on getting a lawyer and dealing with pretty aggressive insurance agencies who I don't feel are giving me, to replace my car. They're not giving me enough money. They're giving me the depreciated value of my car.
Well, that's all they do give you is the depreciated value of your car.
Right.
I mean, you never get replacement value of a car. You're only entitled to what the car was worth a minute before the accident. So how much?
Right.
But listen, as far as injuries go, attorneys, this is something I think a lot of people get wrong. I just want to bring up John Fuller. He's a personal injury attorney. And here's what I think, John. I think many people call attorneys after an accident. Many of them call because of this. They need their car or they need a fair value for their car, and they call you. But really, you are a personal injury attorney, not a property damage attorney. What can you do when people call you about this?
Well, you're exactly right, Tom. And the best thing that we can do is to just help people understand what the process is, what they're entitled to, what the law says that they're entitled to, and then give them some advice on how they can best position themselves to come out of this okay. A lot of people don't realize that, if you're in a situation where the party that caused the accident has insurance, but you also have full coverage, you don't have to go through that other person's insurance. You can elect to go through your own insurance, and many times we'll get estimates from both companies and see who comes up with the better estimate. If you go through your company, they will charge you a deductible if you have a deductible, but that will immediately get refunded by the other company. So you definitely have options, but if you don't do this every day, it's not immediately clear what all those options are.
So, Denise, do you have insurance, collision insurance?
Yes, I do, and my insurance company has already made an offer. My car was totaled, of course, so they've already made an offer to give me cash for the car.
I understand that. Is it a fair offer?
Well, I mean, it's no.
Just so you know, Denise, many people confuse the value of the car with what they owe on it, and sometimes they're not the same. So, do you owe money on your car?
Nope, no.
Good,
I bought
good.
it outright.
Good. So the property damage is one thing, but I don't want you to overlook personal injury. Now, let me explain this. I'm not trying to encourage lawsuits, but I think too many times, John, people say, oh, I'm just a little shook up, nothing really bad. And then a week or two later, they can't shake it, it gets worse, and they end up then trying to get help. What do you suggest when people have been in a pretty bad wreck, and they're just a little sore? I mean, what do you suggest to preserve your rights?
Well, I always suggest getting medical care, and it's great that she went to the hospital on the night of the accident and at least established a baseline of what's going on. They're not going to simply take your word for it down the road. So unless you preserve your rights by doctor,
got a break soon.
Doctor visits and stuff, the nature and extent of your injuries, you can wake up 2 or 3 months down the road and have a very legitimate injury that you have a really incredibly difficult time of relating back to the accident, or at least proving it was caused by the accident.
Denise, there could be another issue here. Let's say they decide to pay some of those hospitals you have and you settle with them. Your health insurance could come back after you and take your money. So don't forget about that part.
Yeah, there are
That brings up a really good point. We could go another layer deeper in this and stress the importance of MedPay. Did we give the MedPay information to the hospital? Did we give our personal health insurance to the hospital? Who's billing who and first? I mean, these are the issues that having an attorney on your side early on enables us to kind of take the bull by the horn and direct some of these benefits in the order that they're supposed to be applied. And Mark can certainly speak to this. And
got a break soon.
Just make sure that it all gets done correctly. And then, if you're going to be getting treatment on the down the road, then we also need to have a discussion about how that gets paid for. Ultimately, It's true to say that the at-fault driver is the one who's ultimately responsible, but nobody sends that guy a bill, and they'll never pay those bills as they're being incurred. And so you have to figure out how to coordinate the benefits that you have to get the treatment you need to put you in a position to be treated fairly at the end of the day.
And a good thing about this, Denise, if you call John Fuller when you're injured, or anybody, if they call, if you don't need him, he'll be the first one to tell you, seriously. And you can decide if you want to hire someone or not. But remember, it's contingency, so it's not costing you anything out of pocket. Because there are many times, I think, that people overlook many important aspects. And even the free consultation can get you those steps to take, even if you never end up doing a personal injury. So that's why I encourage people, talk to a professional.
And real quick, my God, she went to the hospital and still has muscle problems. You could have something pop up in the next couple years.
Yeah. So here's the number for John Fuller, personalinjuryco.com, 303-597-4500, 597-4500. We'll talk about the insurance aspect coming up.
The worst thing that can happen.
Okay, I did a Duran. I'm going to have Mark do the 30-second Duran.
Where the hell are my spots?
I'll do Duck Pros.
Hey,
Denver's talk station.
hey, Aunt, where's the master routers?
Probably later on.
Oh my God, I thought we were in the third hour, my bad.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, a few trouble
No, the worst part is like you say,
Is Duran first?
He's on the westbound side of I-70.
Like that Kylie, she said people were telling her that the lawyer's going to get 30%, so she was getting screwed on that. And that's what was holding her up.
Yeah, but they're morons.
I know.
I can't believe you would tell someone. That's what I kept trying to tell her. Or the one guy that called it that one time, I really couldn't believe.
The weather forecast. Going to be mostly sunny today, about a 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms with a high of 84. Right now, mostly cloudy and 74. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How.
Ford Truck Month. All right, that's in seconds. Doug Pro short. What do you got, Tom? In 3 years, traction Ford Ranger, F-150, or Super Duty. These trucks are built better, built stronger, built for Tom, and priced to sell during Truck Month only at your local Ford stores.
You know, all of the air in your home goes through the ductwork in your home. We advocate duct cleaning at least every 3 years, maybe 5 at the outside. And if you've never had it done, get it done. Duct Pros, Colorado.com, a locally owned and operated company with a giant truck-mounted vacuum. Plus, they use tools on each and every vent. They can do a normal home for around $290. And a free antimicrobial fogging for Martino listeners. DuckProsColorado.com, 303-578-3510.
Hello, this is about 30 seconds till Frank Duran, Mark. It is short. We want for our own family. We provide honest, personalized, and empathetic care. Our award-winning team of specialists provide coverage.
I'll get it.
Using state-of-the-art techniques, diagnostic tools, and physical therapy, we offer care for pain conditions from head to toes.
All right, I'm going hot.
10 seconds, Frank Duran. Here you go. More. Please call 303. Remember, it's short. Pain. That's 303-GOT-PAIN. Pain does not have to be your normal.
Oh my goodness, think of this. Hall of Fame expert by RE/MAX, Master Certified Negotiation Expert, Certified Distressed Property, Real Estate Agent of the Year, RE/MAX Lifetime Achievement Award. Frank Duran doesn't stop there. The accolades just keep coming. He has been doing this forever, and he has personally saved me a ton of money on my house when I bought it and made me a ton of money on my house when I sold it. Frank Duran, the real estate man, 303-920-1622.
Homeowners who take pipe leaks or low water pressure, is your water bill unexpectedly high? These are signs of pipe failure due to old.
Yeah, I mean, call, but we already know exactly what it is. It says it right there. They overcharged me. Yeah. I mean, what else? It's all. Did they tell you up front the price? Yes. Did they do this? Yes. It's our biggest complaint with any HVAC company ever. There is no bigger complaint.
Then what?
They overcharged me. Did you agree to the price? Yes. Did they do this? Yes.
That,
you
but
knew
you know
everything
why?
up front, right? Did they change the price? No.
The brother-in-law syndrome.
Or my neighbor told me you can buy a toilet
Mark,
at Home Depot.
the brother-in-law syndrome or the neighbor syndrome, right?
Or the kid syndrome. They call up, they call their parents up in Florida on Sunday, and the parents tell them, hey, we just had our faucet fixed for $500. Oh my God, well, we could have done that for $39. I got beat the shit in yoga yesterday, Dan. I almost puked, man.
Really?
Yep. Oh my God, I was so burning up, it was crazy. This woman had the room at least 105. It was about 45 minutes into it, and you go from rabbit where you're
I'd so fucking rabbit the hell out of you. I'd rabbit. I'd cobra the shit out of you. You wouldn't believe.
Cobra's bitch too.
You wouldn't believe what the crouching dog. I would kill you.
When it was time for them to get a mortgage,
When
you hear
the hidden dragon, I can't stand.
Are you starting making excuses already? We haven't even played?
Oh, I'll kill you. Oh, dude, I already know it, man. My energy level.
You're back on him
There's
now?
something different, bro. You don't have any pellets.
I have no lumps in my house.
Look, I'll tell you this, man. There is no doubt these lumps stay. I have no doubt.
Mine didn't stay that long.
For a year?
A year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why can't they use, I guess they can't use the same one every time because it'll
Well,
scar
you know
up.
what? It's talking to that like a port, but they can't because it has to have contact with your fat to dissolve.
Here's what, so birth control now, they look like 3 toothpicks.
Why couldn't they do that?
Why can't they do that?
That's different.
And then they literally pull out the toothpicks.
Yeah, I've done that.
The toothpicks don't go away.
Right.
Just whatever the chemical
The
is.
plastic is embedded with...
And then you could use the same port, I'm saying, every time. Why can't they use that delivery method with these?
I don't know. Because one thing they use birth control...
And that shit lasts, what, 3 years, 5 years? Ridiculous.
3 years. Theoretically, they should be able to do that. Why don't you ask them why they can't?
Well, no one's developed it yet.
Because they're not producing, they're not manufacturing it, because there's not enough need for it.
That's
birth control, you have a huge...
Birth control insurance pays for it, too.
You know what?
That's a big one.
Pellets have been around for a long time, Mark. It's just that BioT made them popular. Other doctors can get them.
What, pellets?
Yeah.
But Mark, you have a huge audience for the birth control.
Not only a huge audience, but like I said, insurance covers it.
Right. But the thing is, even if they the manufacturer...
Mark, I'm going to load this up, too.
Audience to sell.
Hello! Tom Martino, you're welcome.
8255. Whoops, here I am. I had my mic off. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. Call them for maintenance or for repairs, 24/7 service, and they're wonderful people at oneclearchoicedoors.com. Go to that website, and everything they do is disclosed in what they charge for it. That's how proud they are. Oneclearchoicedoors.com. I use them for all my garage door needs. Oneclearchoicedoors.com. Great people. Now, we had a question on personal injury accident, but the insurance aspect. Jeremy, with Compass Insurance Group, need to ask a quick question. It's very important. On an accident like this, if you dispute, I mean, you hear this all the time. You dispute the amount they want to pay you for your car. What do?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the first thing I recommend is have comps to support what you think the value is. I think a lot of times we add value for sentimental reasons, or we think the condition's better than it is. And a lot of times it's legitimate. But I just tell my clients, where are you getting the number you're getting? Is it in your head, or are you seeing, comps, comparable vehicles sold for that amount? Because it can go both ways. And I think that really gives the client perspective of what.
But insurance companies do negotiate. They really do, don't they?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, if you have something substantial to bring to them, that's what they're looking for. So if you just say, I think it's worth this, they're probably not going to do much.
And make sure everything is apples for apples.
Correct. Right. Exactly. If you have legitimate comps and you say, hey, this is where I'm getting my value, these
companies comp support it, more times than not, they are going to adjust.
All right, hold on. Mark actually did it, so he's not just talking about it. He actually did it. So let's talk. What did you do?
Well, mine was so screwed up. When the insurance company puts your VIN number in, it should theoretically tell the insurance company every option, everything. When they did my VIN, it didn't even come up as a hybrid. It didn't come up that it had a sunroof. It didn't come up it had the bigger wheels and tires. So when I proved to them my vehicle had all that, it drastically changed it.
But see, so that's the first thing you do. You make sure they have proper information on your vehicle and what they used for comps.
I'll give you a good idea.
And you're allowed to ask that. What did you use for comps? You're allowed to ask that.
If you added leather, for example, let's say you bought something with cloth seats and then paid someone to put leather in there, they need to replace it with the leather option.
Right, and also...
Right.
Go ahead.
That's a valuation report, so that's what they want to ask for. The valuation report is going to show what they had, make sure it's...
So you ask, so this is what you do, Denise, get the valuation report from your insurance company that they use to base the value, the valuation report, and then call us back and we'll go over it with you. I'm Tom Martino. We have a lot more to talk about. 303-713-TALK. And by the way, Compass Insurance Group, home of the insurance checkup, 303-996-9000.
Public adjusters don't do cars, right?
This is so much.
They should. And you know
There's no money.
Here's another thing. Well, let me tell you something. Personal injury attorneys should advertise, we will help you with your car too. Why not? Why the fuck not?
Because it's not worth their time. It's not worth their time, man. It truly is not worth their time.
Think about it right now, used cars at a premium. If you get a comp, you need to go to a dealership to get a comp.
And the whole deal comes down to this, and I disagree with John. Unless the car was totaled, I disagree with, if the car was totaled, I don't give a shit if you want to put it through your own insurance company. If the car wasn't totaled, there is no way you should put it through your own insurance company, because you're going to give up. What are you going to give up?
Yeah, your increased value.
Wait, what are you talking about now? If it wasn't?
If they're just going to repair your car,
right,
$5-10 grand, what are you giving up if you go through your own insurance company?
Other than the obvious
diminished value.
Yes, plus the deduction.
Talk station.
Deductible.
But no one ever calls going, they're not giving me enough to fix it. You know why? Because they're dealing directly with it. What they don't realize is they can get that diminished value. Almost every insurance company now has a diminished value department. They have a calculation, here's your money. They don't even fucking ask it.
Is she dealing with her insurance?
If you ask.
Is she dealing with her insurance or the other guy?
She is, but it doesn't matter because the car's total.
To stop the
So it doesn't matter?
There is no diminished value because the vehicle is now valueless.
But her insurance company's going to end up going after his insurance company.
Yeah, but that'll be automatic. She'll get her deductible.
Mark, if we do this the way we think we're doing, there's not a lot of
Dude, this is
build-out.
running so smooth today.
There's not a lot of build-out needed. We're going to need baffling for sound. You know, the mic switches, I swear to God, I mean, really, I don't think they're going to pick up a lot.
I gotta have a mic switch.
Okay.
Because I turn my mic off all the time. I'm used to turning my mic off.
Don't you need a hands-free? Because then when you put the whiteboard on,
then you get into a more,
You get delay. You never do. There's no instantaneous. I wish there was. I swear to God, I wish there was an instantaneous. No instantaneous wireless. It sucks. I love hands-free.
But we should get that whiteboard and really do a whiteboard. Set it up right.
Well, no, we'll have the camera set up.
No, but your whiteboard is a good idea.
What was the whiteboard?
Well, we'll have a camera right on it, like Mr. Rogers.
What was the
But it's not a
whiteboard?
whiteboard.
Just explain stuff.
No, but I think we do it digital, and then you write on the tablet.
Toughens the language.
Could do it.
States Parliament.
Well, it would be everything. It'd be our TV. It would be everything.
To legalize.
That's not that big of a deal, man.
Mark, here's the problem. Where do we put the fucking switch when you're on the couch with this? The whole idea of having this extension cord is unless we, here's what we do. We have a breakout box.
It's right here. Is aiming to develop
But where do you put it in this thing?
Run on hydrogen and electricity.
What do you mean?
But its stock was down sharply yesterday after
It's basically you're going to put an extension cord on.
He's been under pressure.
Yes, which I need anyhow.
I know, but the extension cord is going to, you're wasting all this cord. You need,
no, you're wrong, Mark.
No matter what, the switch is going to go on the end of this thing. Look, on the end of this thing.
That's right.
Well, all this cord has to be near you then. So it's a waste.
We got to build our endurance.
Can't we buy a little 3-foot cord for this and put it on the end of a 3-foot? That's all I'm saying. Or inline something here. Have it actually. No, I get it, man. But now you have all this cord on your fucking lap because you need this near you. Well, that to me is a waste. What I'm saying is, I wonder if the headset people make one that's like 2 or 3 feet. You have this thing near you, like this, on your belt or something. But doesn't it make sense? Otherwise, this whole fucking thing is stupid.
I don't think they do.
I wonder if we could do this seriously. If this thing, okay, I'll bet you. You know what? I wouldn't say no until we check. I'm wondering. No, but Mark, it's a waste of cord. Not just a waste of cord. It's sloppy because we're all going to be sitting around with a switch on the end of this thing. It's kind of fucking ridiculous. We have an 8-foot cord with a switch on the end of it. No, I know, but what about a boom mic instead of this?
That's what I told you. I'll have a mic. But if I want to get up and walk, I'll have to.
Okay. On Friday, there's a vacancy on the high court. Senator Gardner finally broke his.
You're not going to be one.
For a candidate.
No, I want a chair.
You want a chair with your.
I really see you sitting in a chair, me on a chair, and then a couch for the guests. That's how I
know it. I know.
But you want to be able to have something like swing over and have your computer right there too.
But Mark, I'm thinking more or less.
Actually, my computer's up here.
More or less.
We're going to build it out just like you said, almost like a stern.
I know. But I'm thinking instead of a headset, if we have boom mics, it would be better. Because those boom mics, it's easy. I have all the booms. I have everything we need. I have all of them.
And the mics aren't cheap, but I
have really good mics. I already have
I got a studio.
I have this is the best mic you can buy for broadcast.
I literally got the same mic we have in the studio. That's why I bought it.
Yeah.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, as the lunch hour gets going, one major problem on the highway drive.
I got that.
Westbound I-70 in Dahlia, that's got you backed up
so
all the way
really,
past Quebec.
How many mics do we
watch
need?
out for those delays,
We just do
especially
4.
if you're coming out of the airport. Got a crash still being worked on.
And then basically, if we
approaching
need more than that, we just let them swing the fucking boom like they did in the studio.
Just a little bit of curiosity delay. And got a crash downtown at Spear and Auraria. Let's avoid the area for now. The weather forecast.
I'm going to grow my hair out like him,
20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms, though, with a high near
where are we putting our city?
74. Wagner, 6:30.
How about those?
He'd have girls in studio right this second. Now, he hasn't done that shit forever. I think his new wife made him get rid of
that's not. It's the fucking Me Too movement. Are you kidding me? Exploiting women like that? They would never put up with it.
I don't know,
Did you see when he had the Dumb and Then a Rock thing? He would have these porn stars, and he would ask me questions.
Oh, fuck. What about the homeless Olympics?
That was my favorite. See, that was so old, I didn't even know it existed. You told me about
this
that.
This was when he was in New York. He had a local show.
He would pay him real money.
Was that before or after Seinfeld did it?
No, he competed with Saturday Night Live on that show.
And he had a local show in New York that I would watch.
Stern? Yeah.
See, where's Robin? We're going to have you behind glass like that, yeah.
I thought she was on a higher level.
Dan, she's
a little bigger. I gotta.
Geez, I might not want a chair. I might actually want a little, like he's doing, almost like the old studio.
Mark, I was thinking we got to figure it out because I'm gonna move post haste. I'm thinking of a podium almost. I swear to God. I swear to Mark, a podium. It's very
with the chair.
Like this.
That's basically what he's doing.
The selection no longer about.
Yeah, but we're not gonna have a big house.
No, not that big. But I mean,
but this we're gonna have. And then this is where I say.
See, that's what he does. So every guest that comes in is over.
See, and I think a host should be here with the mics. I do. I think a host needs to be in control. I really do.
Well, that's what he does.
Yeah.
He literally does that.
And sound effects.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by Panacea. What is Panacea? That's realcbdthatworks.com. It's for anti-inflammatory properties, anti-pain, anti-anxiety. It really does work. And listen, for all you anti-marijuana people, this has nothing to do with that, really. It doesn't make you high. It makes you feel good, though, and it's not a high. It's just a really good mood lifter, and it's great for pain. And you get 30% off if you use Tom in the promo code realcbdthatworks.com. Okay, we have the show going strong, and we're happy. Tell friends about it. We solve problems. That's the important message. We solve problems. We don't try to change your religion or politics. We don't try to sway you one way or another. We don't love and hate based on what you believe. We just help you. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have opinions and we don't talk about stuff. We do talk about stuff, and we talk about stuff that really affects our hearts and our pocketbooks. A show note here, the Emmy Awards had an all-time lowest ratings ever. It's a second year of decline, and a lot of people just aren't interested. Some of the comments I looked at on social media said, look, we don't want to see a lot of elite, privileged, rich people sitting around patting each other on the back. And then another one said, we don't want to hear what their political views are. Now, listen, I don't know how you feel about celebrities, but I think people are getting fed up with celebrities. This is not a political statement. I just think I'm sick and tired of people thinking because they do role-playing and play on TV and radio and movies and celebrities that we give a damn about what they think. Seriously. I mean, I love entertainment. I love it. But I don't hold them up to be gods. And I almost think there's an anti-celebrity sentiment going on, except, of course, for social media, where it comes to the Kardashians and other people giving out beauty secrets and all that. What's really weird is conventional entertainment seems to be waning a bit, but that offshoot of entertainment where you get skin tips, beauty tips, and those kinds of things are seeming to rise. Now, you don't see a lot of social media with celebrities doing political stuff that's getting a lot of play, but when celebrities do other things like, how to get strong abs or how to make your face young in 7 days or things like that, you see a lot of play. And I'd like to know what you think about celebrities, celebrity endorsements, celebrity opinions. 303-713-TALK. Rochelle wants to talk about solar. Whatever you want to talk about, give us a call. We have another 2 hours for the show. 303-MARTINO is another number you can call 24/7, and we promise to get back to you. 303-MARTINO. Give that number out anywhere you are, wherever you're listening from, and you can call 24/7 and leave a message. Rochelle, what about solar power? What's going on?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. I don't know how we got a company in touch with us. They did it on their own, and so we had someone come out to the house.
Okay, I want to say one thing about solar, and about solicitations. Whenever we go and dissect the past 40 years of trouble, if someone has been ripped off, more than not, it's been when they were contacted by someone as opposed to them contacting. So in other words, if I looked at a pool of people that were contacted by people from the outside, solicited, about 90% of them were ripoffs. If I look at a pool of people where they made the call out instead of being solicited, we get about 30% ripoffs. Do you understand what I'm saying? The pool of people, meaning that it doesn't mean if someone contacts you, they're going to rip you off, but it does mean, according to my stats, which are probably more accurate than anyone, because I'm the only one who actually has talked to consumers 5 days a week for actually more than 40 years, every single day. And I can tell you that when you go out, and when you're solicited, about 90% of those solicitors will rip you off. So what happened? What did they want to sell you, Rochelle?
Solar panels, I don't remember how many.
Did they say you would get tax credits and all of that?
Yeah, they tried to, yes.
Did you go ahead and you didn't buy or sign anything, did you?
No.
Then what are you calling about? Do you need some general information?
Yes, this is why my husband's always been interested in trying to get solar, and so when that person contacted he just wanted to find out more about it. But
Okay.
I did some digging. Myself, internet-wise, and it's to me, the average person, it's a little complicated.
Yes, it is.
And it's dangerous, too, because it's also dangerous because the rip-offs, like you said.
Let me explain it to you, Rochelle. Let me tell you the problem, okay? The problem with the solar industry, unfortunately, is that most of them are a bunch of clowns. First and foremost, they're all interested in new systems, and you can hardly find anyone to repair and maintain existing systems. The other problem is, now I'm going to give you a pretty good company name that I like, and they do repairs and they service and they sell. But the problem with the entire industry, and I think Mark is going to agree with this, they took the tax credits and took away all our benefits because all they did was raise prices. The prices that they charge for solar, they're overpriced. So really, they took an industry where the government gave tax credits. Is it 30% now, tax credits?
I'm not sure, but it really doesn't even matter that much because a lot of electrical companies around buy your excess for so little money compared to what you pay them for the same wattage.
No, I understand. But let's say you could do 100% of your needs by solar. Let's just say that. And you're off the grid. I mean, theoretically off the grid. So, is it worth it? Well, of course it is if you don't pay too much up front. The point I'm making is they took the tax credit of 30% and basically just added it to the cost of your goods. You're not getting a 30% discount. That's the problem with the solar industry. Everyone overcharges. Everyone does. Therefore, you are not getting the benefit of the tax credit. That's the first problem. The second problem is, as I said, most everyone wants new installations, and they do not want you to have, they don't want to repair. They don't want to mess around with them. So here's what I say about solar. If you can buy it for truly a good price, minus the tax credits, and that price can be paid back by your usage over a 10-year period, and you will stay in the house at least 50% more than the payback period, then it's worth doing. Give you an example. If this will take 5 years to pay back because you're putting in a solar system to heat your water, and it will take 5 years to pay back, and you're going to stay in your house 7.5 years, meaning 50% more than the payback, then it's okay to do. If it takes 10 years to pay back, and you're going to stay in the house at least 15 years, then go ahead and do it. I would never, ever, 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 ever lease a system unless I was going to be in the home for the entire term of the lease. Otherwise, I would buy it. But I would only buy it if the payback period would be such that it would pay back during the time I'm living there plus 50%. That formula has never failed when it comes to me analyzing something like that. So, Rochelle, find out what you need and really think about it. You have to pay a lot up front, and you need to know what you're going to save. Unfortunately, it mostly never pays off because people move and they never get the benefit. That is the sad truth. Now, having said all of that, if you want a good company that won't lie to you and they're really good people, CAM Solar. They're on a referral list, CAM, CAM Solar. Mark, I don't think we've ever gotten a complaint about them.
No.
CAM Solar is 720-729-8777. 720-729-8777. And do you have any specific questions, Rochelle?
One other one, when you were talking about the lease versus buying.
Yes.
Is there some way that, okay, you said they don't get the benefit, the rebate, or, I don't know if it's tax credit or rebate. I'm not sure what's happening, but...
Oh, wait, listen, it's always a tax credit. When you lease a system, usually the lessor takes the credit, and then you pay a monthly fee.
Okay.
But never lease a system. Never lease a system unless you're going to be in the home the entire term of the lease.
Right.
So it's really common sense. Mike's got a comment. Ants, let me just take Mike's real quick for this comment, and we'll go to a break. Mike, what is your comment?
Tom, one of the other things about solar is it's going to double the cost of a replacement roof if she can find somebody that will remove those solar panels and replace them once the new roof is done.
You know, you're right. It does add to the cost, but as I understood it, insurance covers those extra costs.
Yeah, generally it would be a hail claim.
Mike, I have heard that insurance companies seldom give people a problem with that. That's what I've heard.
If you can find somebody to do it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And I don't know how our roofers are. I think most of them do handle it. I'm not sure of that. We could check with one of them, either Johnson or Excel. We can check with them. Okay, we have more coming up.
Clear. Ideal Home Loans, Art of Granite, you give him one of these tomorrow?
Yes, Art of Granite. I did it once already.
At iHeartRadio.
All right.
You're getting back to business, but how do you know you're making the right decisions?
I'm doing Ideal.
With Research Raccoon.
I just tried to hit him once, Ants.
Businesses
Good.
of all sizes learn about their customers. Ask a question, and Research Raccoon gives you U.S.-based data to help you decide. No defining audiences or...
Okay, I'm getting a pretty good picture of what we're doing.
Do you know anybody that helps
Talk to Research Raccoon and get data you can use that's affordable for
Tell
small
Dave to try to get a
researchraccoon.com to learn more.
Okay. So, Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. I really mean that. These guys don't just write loans. You know, everyone has a 30-year fixed-term loan, right? Or a 15-year fixed-term loan. Ideal goes further than that. They'll do an 18-year, a 23-year, a 27-year, whatever you want. It's up to you. They also have credit optimization, which means they don't just put you in an approved category and then write you a loan. They know that you might be able to improve your credit by simply correcting an address or paying a balance down by $30 or $40. They did that one time for a guy and saved him $200 a month. That's right, small changes in your credit that they do quickly and efficiently, that can make a big difference in your costs. Shop around, but put Ideal on the list and you'll be convinced it does make a difference. You want an Ideal Home Loan. And don't forget their interest rate guarantee. If rates go down, they refinance you free of charge. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
Polls have Joe Biden.
About 25 seconds. Art of Granite.
Opinion. Now, Newsmax TV is asking Americans to vote in their national poll. Vote instantly.
Can you imagine what would happen if they didn't have a nice judge on the Supreme Court?
39747 and vote. Make sure your voice is
What's that, sir?
Can you imagine what would happen if the Supreme Court
and watch Newsmax TV on all major cable systems. Check your guide.
It would be an
Plus,
incredible
YouTube,
constitutional
Pluto,
event.
Samsung, and more. So vote now for Trump or Biden. Text virus to 30.
All right, here you go.
7.
All right, Suzanne and I just had some relatives in town over the weekends, and they saw our laundry room for the first time since we had Mitch Floria come out and redo all of our granite and our cabinets. We also had him do the bathroom upstairs. When you want the most beautiful countertops and cabinets you can imagine in the entire neighborhood, you've got to call up Mitch Floria at the Art of Granite, and guess what? He's going to save you money, too. He's going to save you a lot of money and do the best job. He'll give you wholesale pricing on the actual countertops. And basically, he pays for the fabrication. He's a great guy. I use him personally, and he'll give you quotes over the phone. I don't know anybody else that does it. 303-386-5919. Call Mitch right now. Take a few pictures, send them to him. He'll give you a quote. 303-386-5919.
You'd like hearing me talk about a new erectile dysfunction medication that has recently become available. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and since we started using this medication in our practice just a few months ago, we have seen some amazing results. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we work with us to stay on the forefront of ED treatment protocols. And when we first started offering this new medication, I was already excited at how I believed it would work. Now, having seen the results, I'm even more excited to be able to provide it to our patients. The Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic is all about the men's sexual health. We're nothing like the online pill companies that offer a one-size-fits-all approach to ED treatment. We offer many different protocols, and even if this new medication doesn't work for you, we have other treatments with success rates as high as 90%. In fact, we may even be able to have you perform like you haven't
will get the Supreme
So make
Court
your appointment today. For just $99, you'll get a consult, blood work, and if medically advised...
Are they saying she's conservative, of course?
Well, she's conservative, but she's not a whack.
Call us today at 720-400-7900
You know, that Amy,
or go to...
I don't think you can be as conservative as
She is so adamantly pro-life.
Save a few $100 a month, maybe $1,000.
But again, I don't think, I'm with Mark.
Is it Coney Barrett? Is it Amy Coney Barrett?
They'll never overturn
Is it Amy Coney? Is it Coney Barrett?
Yeah,
No, and it's a horrible excuse they give.
She's a young woman too, 48.
Yeah, the other one's 52. They're both, you're talking, you know, a possibility of 20, 30 years easy.
With Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, it's the same thing.
Kavanaugh's very young.
I think she's, if you look at this women on the Supreme Court now, she's way too good looking.
How about the court is now ruthless? Have you heard that one yet? The court's ruthless.
You didn't think that RBG was...
Oh my God, that's funny.
You didn't think that RBG was...
Look at the other two. Right? Look at the other two. Look at Sotomayor, boy. She got hit with that ugly stick. Yeah.
How long would it last?
Here's the argument they used back in 16 when they wouldn't do it. Well, they didn't have the Senate. It didn't fucking matter. It would have been a waste of time. You don't have to vote just to give a vote. It's stupid. I'll tell you right now, if the Democrats held the Senate right now, and no, and it was still Trump, they'd never do it. They'd do the same thing they did with Obama. There'd be no difference.
What do they need to do to confirm her?
Oh, it's easy. They already got the votes, it looks like.
They do have the vote.
Who has to confirm? All of them?
No. First, there'll be a little group of people, I think 6 or 12.
The Senate?
Yeah, then the Senate.
Just the Senate?
Just Senate.
And are there more Republicans in the Senate?
Yeah, there's 53 plus the VP, so there's 54.
Is there a filibuster or anything else stopping?
They got rid of it. They got rid of it.
No, they didn't get rid of that. They got rid of the 2/3 majority.
No, 60 votes.
Or 60 votes.
That's what we...
And guess who got rid of it? The Democrats.
630 K-House.
And they said this will come back and bite you.
But now they said they're going to pack it out.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Mike Wink is with Wink & Wink. They're bankruptcy attorneys. And they've been more busy now than in the past several months. You know, during the recession, there were a lot of filings. Mike, when did bankruptcies pick up? Mike Wink, are you?
A month or two ago.
A month or two ago.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. A month or two ago, they picked up.
That's right. They're a lagging indicator, and they really haven't gotten to anywhere close to where they were during the last recession. I expect that they will continue to increase, especially as things like the moratorium on foreclosures for FHA loans expires in December.
Now, Mike, somebody asked, with Chapter 7, there are income limits as to who can file. Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct.
And that's
basically a means test.
Yeah. They want to know, though, if they, husband and wife team, they make a lot of money, but if they divide that, like if just one of the spouses go bankrupt, is it that spouse's income or household income that limits them?
It's essentially household income. There is if you have one spouse filing without the other, the starting point is we're looking at everybody's pay stubs, household income. You do get to take deductions to the extent that the other spouses has expenses that don't go for the benefit of the family, but you're getting into technical, tricky areas. So it's best to start with the assumption that, you know, if you're together making a lot of money, you're probably not going to be eligible for Chapter 7.
Okay. And with a Chapter 7, is it beneficial that the couple do it or individuals? You must have this question all the time. Do both of us have to file? I mean, what is the disadvantage or advantage of either?
So in a case, you know, so definitely one can file without the other, and sometimes there's good reason for that. You know, if one person has all the debt, obviously the other person might not have to file. And if one person has, you know, good credit and you want to kind of preserve that, that's another reason to have one spouse file while the one with good credit does not. In scenarios where they both have debt, and bankruptcy is going to cost them X regardless, then I typically then encourage people to file together, because it's like saying at no additional cost you both can get out of debt, and you should. So it really comes down to how much debt each spouse has, I think, is the primary consideration on that.
Okay, and following that along, this just came in as a result. If they have joint debt and one of the spouses go bankrupt, it's not really the joint debt they want to get rid of, and they understand the other spouse will still be responsible. But what they want to know is, will that debt be reported on the bankrupt spouse credit report as being bad? In other words, they can't, if they're still making their payments, they couldn't very well call it a bad debt. In other words, that spouse who files bankruptcy, right, what happens there? Does it help their credit?
No, because the bankruptcy is kind of like a blanket over the entire credit report. So even if you had a debt that you're current on, it will reflect that it was discharged in bankruptcy, unless you reaffirm it or something like that. But in most cases, it's going to reflect on that person's credit. In a way, it doesn't matter, right? Because the bankruptcy on 9/10 of your debt on your credit is to have one debt that isn't reflecting bad when you have all the others. I don't think you get any benefit from that, anyways. The good news for whoever that is with their credit is, once you get your bankruptcy discharge, you can start to rebuild credit, and it comes back faster than many people think. Within a year or two, you could have a 700 credit score. If you have good credit from that point forward. That's right. It's all about managing credit going forward. That's right. All right. And so then one wanted to know then, is there any benefit to reaffirming, even if they want to keep something or keep paying? Is there a benefit to reaffirming, or should they just pay it? We generally try to avoid any kind of any kind of reaffirmation of debt when you're in a bankruptcy. I mean, the whole point is to get out of debt. Occasionally, for car loans, there's a benefit because some lenders will try to take your car if you don't reaffirm, even if you're making payments. Aside from that, if there was ever an accusation of fraud or recent credit usage in anticipation of bankruptcy, then sometimes signing back onto the debt to resolve that is reaffirming the debt can be a good solution to that kind of problem. But by and large, better to let your credit go and then rebuild it and get out of debt while you're in the process. All right. And by the way, wink and wink, I'll take other questions as they come in. It's 303-410-1720 if you wanted to talk directly to Mike or Gigi Wink. Winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720. I want to take John's call now about credit cards. John, what's going on with that?
Buddy, I'm getting credit cards mailed to my house in somebody else's name. Not a big deal. I'll send them back, return to sender. But I'm wondering if my home address could have identity theft.
I just got this, man. What kind of cards are they? What bank?
U.S. Bank.
Yep, that's it, man.
And
that's from...
so what's happening with this?
These are prepaid, what do you call them, unemployment cards.
Okay.
That's what they are. Someone did steal your address. I'll tell you what, if they show up with your own name on them, which happened to me after they showed up with somebody else's name.
What's the game? What's the game if they have them sent to your house?
Because they keep trying to activate them over the internet or over the phone. So they don't know they arrived yet, but they can go on there through the phone or through the internet and try to guess how to activate them. Usually it's your birthday or the last four of the social.
But why are they using you? Why do they use other people's addresses?
That part I don't know. It's just random. I don't know. Maybe because that's what the state has on file for your address.
Yeah, it's not making sense to me why they put it in someone's name, but use your address.
I got two in someone else's name, my address. They came to my house, both the U.S. Bank ones.
Same with me.
Then I had one yesterday. I think it was yesterday, come with my name on it to my address.
See, that I don't understand at all. I just don't get the game. I don't see what they're trying to do.
Because they can activate it without
No, I know that, but then why not use another address? Why not use their own address?
Because I'm sure unemployment's got an address on file or something.
Okay.
Address.
But won't they know that name doesn't match that address?
That part I don't get. That part I don't. But the second round I got of them had my name on it. It sucks, man. Hey, dude, make sure you put a fraud alert on all 3 credit bureaus. And I mean, do it now, because if they activated any of those, at some point that could come back and bite you in the ass.
You only have to call one.
3-year-old, and I don't want my equity in my house messed with.
Well, I wouldn't. Just put a fraud alert on there right now. Here's what a fraud alert truly means. If you go to apply for credit of any type, they will actually reach out to you at a phone number that you designate when you're doing the credit hold. And until they reach you and verify it's you, they're not going to open that credit line.
Wow,
so it's pretty
that's
effective.
good. Well, I don't know why everyone doesn't do that.
Well, because most people would say it's a pain in the ass. They're walking through the mall. Macy's will give them 20% off or something if they get a credit card, and they got to call. They got to do all this other stuff.
What number is Doc for?
He's 4.
Go on, you're on.
Oh, I can just give you a number to call Equifax and set up a fraud alert, and they will call Experian and TransUnion.
Give that number.
It's
that's right.
800-525-6285.
You know what we should do?
Make sure you get that. I'm going to give that again. 800-525-62.
Right. Sorry.
And Daphne, we should get that unemployment guy back on at some point and ask him just that. What is the entire deal? How come all of a sudden people are doing unemployment under other people's names?
Yeah, so do the fraud alert. 800-525-6285. More coming up.
Hey, Mark.
This.
Mile High State Paragon.
Mark, what if I was and I had the card sent to my address? I had a card sent to my address. And if I tried to get another one at my address, they wouldn't do it. But if I use your address, then they'll do it.
But why would they with your name on it? Well, it's the name, right?
He's got his name on it also. No, but that's
social. They use a social for unemployment. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't know where they got all my information.
Where your address is cleared on the way. Still working on that right down.
No, the address is fine, but where'd they get my social? The one that had my name on it, it was actually a bank account, and the debit card showed up. Online bank account.
Watch out for backups. Another area to watch out for.
I wonder if they're getting to send that
of afternoon
and they go check the mailbox, go to the mailbox.
Right now, mostly guys in High City, and we're sitting at 78.
But they got broken into that one.
I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How. Dell semi-annual.
So I spoke to the detective in that car thing.
Desktops with Intel Core processors, along with servers and electronics, all with free shipping. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL, or visit Dell.com/businessdeals.
You know, an adequate estate plan is just as much about protecting you while you're alive as it is after you pass, especially when it comes to your net worth, your assets, all of the property you've accumulated. If you have a net worth, people are going to try to come after it. In fact, you may want to have something to leave to your heirs, but long-term care can wipe it out in less than a year. But there are ways around that, honestly, with MileHighEstatePlanning.com. So few people know about it. It's a special trust. Ask Blake at 833-ASK-BLAKE. That's his new number, 833-ASK-BLAKE. And you can ask anything on initial consultation, a free estate plan. He'll come up with something and then give you a flat rate to execute it all, and you will never be sorry. MileHighEstatePlanning.com. 720, let's do the new number, 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Did you?
Paragon, another 25 seconds.
Yet more than 40% of the food we produce is thrown out. At Kroger, we know we can do something about it.
Vegans are placing roses in the meat department in honor of the cows that died.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
Is that fucking dumb?
I've done it.
Then I take the roses home.
What? No, look what this guy did.
Easy.
But can you believe they're doing that?
Trust me, I can believe almost anything.
I would take the rose and just take it home.
John Hicken looper. Yep, he can't help himself.
Jump, and then he's gonna be selling us air. Motherfucker, he's gonna be selling us air.
Yeah.
Selling us air?
Don't let him sell us out.
He's gonna take your guns.
He's gonna take them.
He's going to take you.
He won't let you procrastinate anymore with women.
He's going to make you.
He's gonna make you be gay.
Yeah.
He's gonna put Howdy Doody back on the shirt. He looks like Howdy Doody.
Those are pretty effective ads they're running though against him.
You think that's better than the I don't want to be a senator?
Oh, those are great ads. No, that's what I'm saying. Those are the ones I like.
Right.
I don't like that redneck shit.
Yeah, I agree. But the ones which is I'm not cut out.
Although he does want to reach Dan, so he does the redneck ones.
Now the next one we're gonna put in. You want somebody in there that couldn't do that's homeless? Remember he said he was gonna get rid of the homeless?
Will these vegans be upset with this meal?
Oh, we forgot to hamburgers here while Mark was here.
I know.
He won't eat anyway. So we'll do it tomorrow.
We'll do it tomorrow. Well, today is Tuesday. No.
What is it?
This is steak left over from
Shanahan's.
What kind of steak did you get? Bone-in ribeye?
Always.
Tomahawk?
The only thing worth getting.
No, bone-in New York strip is the best.
Really?
I like those.
Oh. New York strips.
Mark, you always get this one. You get the tomahawk.
Yeah, he gets the tomahawk.
I don't always get a tomahawk, but I always get a bone-in ribeye. Most of the time. Update on carport. Deputy B on line 8. Oh shit, did I just miss Master Rooter? God dang it. He was probably screaming at us and I didn't hear him.
Well, I keep that up.
Hey Ant, did I miss my spot? Alright.
This is why
I thought I heard it.
My son's girlfriend. Who else would eat a tomahawk like that?
Your son's girlfriend eats
Let me tell you, the food,
Yeah, look at that.
the steak right next to that bone is the best part.
Yep.
No shit, bro.
Man, this new pellet grill I have, though, I'll never go back to my electric smoker unless I have to. If I'm out of pellets or something. Fuck, is it good. Ribs in 6 hours. I did some drumsticks. You ever smoke drumsticks?
No.
Holy shit, fall off the bone drumstick. I'd like to put a turkey leg in there.
Yeah. I'd do that.
Well, if you put it in a crock pot, it falls off.
Yeah, definitely. But you don't get to smoke the barbecue flavor.
I wonder if you could put some barbecue's taste in there. They got that barbecue, liquid barbecue. Not liquid barbecue.
Oh, you mean in the...
liquid smoke.
In the electric? Well, the electric you actually put wood in.
No, I mean if you did it in a crock pot.
You put wood in it.
Oh, actually, yeah, you could. Yeah, the
Hold on.
electric you
But we gotta listen.
We're up. We'd all be here. 20 minutes goes by.
Tom Martino here.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right. Let's go to the phones. We got a lot of comments on this unemployment fraud. Plus, we have an update on Yvonne's situation, and that's with Deputy B. We're going to go to that. And then winkandwink.com. Don't forget, Mike Wink is here to answer your questions. We have a few more for him. Now, Yvonne, you called originally, today even, and the problem was with a carport. You said you put down a deposit with this company for carports, and then they advised you need a setback of 5 feet around the building, and you said you don't have the setback, so you need to cancel. I was wondering where that setback came from, and Mark believes it came from the building department because we can see no reason why a manufacturer gives a damn what kind of setback you have. So the point is, Yvonne, I think, jumped the gun. I would make all my contracts contingent upon building department approval and permitting. I would never sign a non-refundable contract. But Deputy B looked into this. Deputy B, Yvonne's with us right now, and what is going on? What did you find out?
Well, I called the representative that Yvonne told me to call.
Yeah.
And he was a really nice guy. And the conclusion is he wants to give her the refund as long as she gives him the denial letter of the permit. And even without that, he's going to go to bat for her and try to get her the full refund. So that's the solution. He will give her the full refund as long as she provides it.
Well, that's pretty nice since the contract calls for them to give up their deposit. Here's what I want to know, though. Was it the building department that required that 5-foot setback?
That I don't know. I never even brought that up with him.
Mark, did you have something? Did you want to say something?
No, and I just want people to know, I mean, it's not like she paid for the entire building. She only gave him $600, which would cover the real basics, like just the design, the stamp plans. When you buy a steel building, it's already engineered. So, it's the actual stamp plan she's paying for. I don't think they did anything wrong to begin with, is all I'm saying.
But, Yvonne, it sounds like you're going to get your money back.
That would be absolutely lovely, because I'm still looking for a carport.
Do you have the rejection letter or the denial letter from the county?
I did not go to the county because I spoke to them over the phone, and what she told me the requirements were compared to what the requirements were for the letter that I received from Coast to Coast. I didn't have that. And
What did the county, wait a minute.
I learned a lesson, though.
Yvonne, you're indicating that the county, their requirements were different than the carport company. How were they different?
Oh, no, Tom, I apologize. They weren't different, but they were different from what I thought I was buying to begin with. I thought I was buying something that I had the space for and I had the room to put in, but then I received the letter for the planning, and that indicated that I do not have that space.
Then you need to get that letter from planning to them and then figure that out.
I'm more than happy to do that.
Yes, Deputy B, go ahead.
Just interject. We had a three-way phone call between Yvonne, myself, and Michael.
Excellent.
And the reason I do that is so that there's a witness to what he says.
Good. Excellent.
Both of us are witnesses.
All right. We appreciate it.
Yvonne and myself both feel the guy's legitimate.
All right. Thank you, Deputy B. We appreciate it, man. I have to move on, though. So bottom line, Yvonne will get a refund, we're told. We'll check back to see. Debbie, you have a comment on the unemployment fraud these credit cards people are getting in the mail. Go ahead, Debbie.
Yeah, I just know that back in around July, the beginning of July, the unemployment office would have like Zoom meetings, and they would televise them over YouTube.
Yes.
And while I was watching that, they had said that there was a big fraud thing going on, I guess, nationwide.
Wow.
And that people were actually getting those cards. They're called Relia cards.
Yes, exactly.
For their unemployment, because when you get unemployment, you can do a direct deposit or get it on that Relia card.
Yes.
So the fact that some of the people are getting the Relia card when they're not entitled to unemployment probably means that somebody has used their Social Security number to try to get unemployment.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking into. That's Debbie. That's what we're looking into. Carol, was that pretty much what you had to say, or did you have an additional comment, Carol?
Well, I got it back in July, and the steps I took was I did immediate fraud alert, and then I went to each of the three, and I did a freeze, and that you have to do individually and set up a password so it's frozen for fraud.
Good.
Mine was already frozen and this happened to me, but that's a whole different thing. But she did the right thing. You should freeze it. Well, no, because they don't care what your credit is when you're filing for unemployment. A credit freeze is different.
Yeah, but Carol put a freeze on it to make sure they can't do anything else, but that's pretty smart.
Got a break soon?
Okay, I have to take a quick break, and then Mike Wink, Mike and Gigi Wink, winkandwink.com. We'll come back to a few questions, plus a question about public adjusting, and your questions at 303-713-TALK. Mark.
I'll do both of these.
So, Tom, I spoke.
He'll do both.
I spoke to the cop, the detective who's involved in that thing.
Yeah.
He said all the papers were okay, and they brought the DA, and the DA ruled that it was a abandoned, not a stolen car.
So where is it?
So I'm the only person I have to talk to left is the dealership.
I'm sure it went back to
there was
Atlanta or whatever.
There was the original owner, the intermediary, the detective, and now the dealer is
The guy basically screwed out of the car.
Master Rooter first.
And it was paid for.
No, apparently not.
Well, I mean, he swears to God he paid for it.
Yeah, but Jock, he actually said there was a $13,000 loan on it.
No, the intermediary filed all the lien papers.
Hold on, guys. Shh. Man, it's amazing how much good feedback I get about Master Rooter, how much money they save, they're always on time, they do proper diagnostics, they don't try to cheat you, they use good, clean, new equipment, and guess what? They don't even charge a trip charge in the Denver metro area, and their estimates are always free, and on top of their already low prices, listen to this, they give extra discounts to military, senior discounts, and my favorite, single income families. These guys really are part of the community. They're really good plumbers with great prices. Ready? Write this number down, 720-434-3406. Write it down now. If you own a house or you're maybe even a commercial building, at some point you're going to need a plumber. 720-434-3406.
Recently uncovered evidence.
You getting any reports?
Immediately it just sat on the floor like somebody just...
You getting any reports on our feeds or anything?
Oh, that's sound, yeah.
Listen to podcasts.
All right, listen, GetFoundFast.com. These guys can help you with SEO. They can help you with social media, your reputation. They can definitely help you with Google. In fact, they're Google specialists. If you own a company, let's say you own a pizza place, and someone wants pizza delivery Castle Rock, you want to come up on that first page. They can help you do that. They can also explain to you what a Facebook campaign is, what Google pay-per-clicks are. You need to really call these guys, and what I really, really love about them is they will talk to you for free and even give you some free do-it-yourself tips. It won't cost you a nickel. They'll explain the other stuff they do, and they're not high pressure whatsoever. Use the same people Tom and I use for Referralist.com. And it all starts at GetFoundFast.com. That's GetFoundFast.com.
The answer key to have a done right kitchen and bath, windows and doors. There's absolutely no reason why right now it should be your time to get started on a beautiful new kitchen with that awesome bath you've always wanted. Right, Tom?
I just,
of course, yeah.
Not believe somebody would call the radio station and have such a total story.
About what?
Well, that it had a long lien on it.
Well, we don't even know, but I don't even know what the lien had to do with the call in the first place. I mean, it's an interesting side note, but what the fuck did the lien have to do with any of the call?
You mean...
He said they took his car. Right. It didn't matter about a lien. His whole problem was my car was stolen.
No, it came up because of insurance. Why, if it was stolen...
He didn't have insurance.
I know, because he said it was paid off. He said it was paid off.
My entire...
But it probably was paid off.
His lien has nothing to do with fucking shit.
Oh, it was just lien, okay, not a loan, okay.
It was a loan.
It was a loan. What does that have to do with the call, though?
Oh, well,
he called up basically saying they stole his car.
A couple things. If it was a lien, he
The
should have
only
had
reason
insurance
it had to do with it is because he said he had it paid off.
That's right. That's it. Why would he lie about that? I have no idea.
But what I'm saying
He basically said
Because it was the reason he didn't have insurance that he
Another
justified.
thing, he was supposed to have insurance. They might have taken the car just because he didn't have insurance.
Well, they probably put forced insurance, but that only pays back the bank or credit union. So they could have very well got paid. Although a lot of those forced insurance, you realize they might charge the individual members for that, but that's all in-house numbers.
Of course
it's not like they go to another one.
No,
But some of the
they
smaller
have a
ones-
blanket one
Yeah.
based on their portfolio of loans.
That's right.
Right, I know that, but they don't get a rebate if they don't use it.
No, of course not.
They actually make a profit on it.
Pretty simple. Either he owed the money or he didn't.
I know.
But he specifically said it was paid off.
And the guy who was doing all of the paperwork said it was not.
Yeah, but all I was saying is there's no relevance to that.
Right.
His entire issue was, they stole my car. It just got off on a side. It's like Tom goes off on these rabbit holes, these bunny.
Sure I do. Are you done with coffee?
He asked that one lady, what color shoes are you wearing? And it had nothing to do with the call.
But also the thing, like I say, is now look at also what he left out. He left out that he got a certified letter saying you got 30 days to come and get it. So really, everything got left out.
Here's what happened. He abandoned his car there and they got rid of it.
Right, well, he didn't have the $1,200. That's basically what happened.
That's it.
Now he's got,
and he's pissed off.
Well, not that. I'm sure that dinged his credit big time.
The most commonly reported side effect.
And he reported stolen.
And that's another thing. So look at how many things he left out of the story.
The detective said that they did investigation, all the paperwork was there, and the DA looked at it, and the DA said his car was abandoned and stolen.
If you want to learn how to make money in the stock market, the Trading Group Show, Sundays at 3, or call 888-646-8774.
I drink a lot of water, man. I don't like cold water.
You don't like cold water? What's this?
It's all he's got.
Here, you want this one? You really don't like cold water?
I do not like cold water.
You go in the closet and get some anytime you want.
I'd feel bad if
I like cold water.
You'd probably take a cold one to replace the warm one there just to make it look right.
You see those cups over there?
I know.
I messed those up. I messed up these things when he was gone. And as soon as you poked it,
Did you catch it?
he cooked.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Mike Wink from Wink and Wink. I have a couple quick questions for you. First of all, how long, somebody wants to know, how long does a Chapter 7 take from the time you guys file? How long would it take for them to be done with it?
Typically, the case is going to close within about 5 or 6 months, but it's like you're out of debt on day one because all collection efforts stop. And so while you have to go through the process to get the formal order of discharge, once you file bankruptcy on day one, creditors can't call, or if they're garnishing, it has to stop, or there's a pending foreclosure, it has to stop.
If the day after bankruptcy, after you file, or a couple days later, you come into money, what happens?
Yeah, it's likely going to go to your creditors or be considered property of the bankruptcy estate, but it depends on how you came into money. If you inherited it, definitely. If somebody passes within 6 months of filing bankruptcy, even if you haven't received.
How about a lottery?
You said 6 months, right? So a lottery would be the same thing?
That's correct. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So like after 6 months, you get to keep it?
That's right. That's right.
Huh.
So whenever we always ask people if they're expecting any inheritance within a year, because we've had a few cases get filed where, somebody passed unexpectedly, and then there was property of the bankruptcy estate that was not anticipated.
Hey, Mike, we know there's exemptions. Like if you own a house, you get a certain amount of exemptions. But what happens if the house is in the spouse's name and the other one is the one doing the bankruptcy? They can't touch the house at all, right?
That's a tricky one. There's a concept in the law called equitable title. So the way it works is whose name is on the house is only part of the analysis. If the couple, say, had a prior home that was jointly owned and they sold it and they put all that money into a new home in just one spouse's name, say for credit reasons, but they otherwise kind of equally contribute to the household and so on, there's a very, very good argument that the spouse whose name is not on the property actually owns half of it in that scenario.
Okay, so a lot of planning goes into a bankruptcy, really, when you're married.
Absolutely, and real estate is a big issue. We've never had anybody lose their home in bankruptcy, and I'm knocking on wood. But you've got to be very careful with that because that would be the worst case scenario, and that's why you need an attorney.
Okay. Mike, what if someone, they want to know if they started a trust many years ago and there's money in that trust and it's being left to his heirs, does he have to cash that in on a bankruptcy?
So trusts and bankruptcy are a bit complicated. The answer will be it depends. If it's a revocable trust or a self-settled trust, which means that the person who put the property in is also a beneficiary of it, then it's very risky to do that kind of trust prior to a bankruptcy. But if you make it irrevocable so that you can't even get the property back yourself, and the beneficiaries are your kids or some third parties that are not you, then there's a chance that property will be beyond the reach of your creditors, even in a bankruptcy.
Okay, but if it is a revocable trust, but it was established, let's say, 10 years ago, you're not the beneficiary. You're the owner of the trust until you die. Does that trust get cashed in?
I think it will depend on the terms of the trust, but it's riskier because the trustee steps into the debtor's shoes. And so if the debtor has the right to revoke the trust, then the trustee might have it. If there's language in the trust limiting distribution to creditors, I think that could hold up. So that's a very tricky technical point that would depend on the exact verbiage of the trust.
Wow. All right. So winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720. 303-410-1720. Okay, winkandwink.com. We have more coming up. Nancy wants to talk about a bank scam, and Carol wants to talk about another important step on fraud, and Bennett wants to talk about public adjusters. All of that coming up. Get your calls in at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255.
Yeah, they like the sound. I'm going to forward this to both you, and this is a big one, I think.
You're not alone in being stressed out due to COVID-19 and the shutdowns. Was your job
See if you guys want to handle this or talk about it.
Most likely revenues.
What did you say? What are you bitching about?
This one here.
Did you send it to me so I could see it?
Yeah.
What did it come in through?
Don't stress.
Gotta bring that cup home.
Did you send it?
Yeah.
I gotta do a bunch of shit after the show, some commercials and
I
stuff.
just can't believe this happened.
What did?
Just hold on. Let's just read it first.
Advise you on strategies to get through the crisis in the best way possible. Larson will help you strategize and prioritize your taxes, your business, and your personal expenses.
I don't believe it. I simply do not believe it. So,
Dan, we won't need that longer card. Mark's not there, right? You'll just move over a little bit.
Larson Tax.
of course, Mark will pay anything he wants. What?
Except on lunch day.
You're going to need headphones because I keep both my sets.
No, these are mine.
Perfect.
These are mine.
Denver.
Fix it up to your line. Just it's.
ABC News.
They're basically saying they stole my.
Oh my God, that would never happen.
Today near the Washington Memorial, 20,000 flags were laid.
We got to send it to George and say, look, this guy should not be making this accusation. I'll do it. I'll send it to him.
Of the lives lost, but that the families left
Unless he had somebody weird in there.
They're saying they basically.
Pick for the High Court.
I have no idea.
Force them all. Supreme Court nominee on Saturday at the White House. Sources tell ABC federal judge Amy Coney Barrett is the leading contender.
They're saying there's a line of credit opened up at Wells Fargo for $10,000.
Referred to Saturday as debt valley.
There's no way this is true.
Well, they would never do it. I'm going to send this to him.
No, but it doesn't even fucking make logical sense. There's no benefit here.
ABC News. Late Justice
Especially they didn't get the job.
Rely on repos at the Supreme Court tomorrow and Thursday, and she will lie and say that the U.S.
The only thing I can think of is if they did the credit thing.
I'm sure they did do the credit
Right,
thing.
but they
What's
checked
Brian's
something.
last name?
Vanessa Bryant claims severe
Here,
emotional
I'll tell you. I
distress.
gotta start
Sheriff's
typing.
deputies
Remington.
are accused of using
Okay.
personal
That's pretty
cell phones
serious,
to
though.
take pictures of
Well, yeah,
their
it's outright theft.
Yeah, I mean, the accusation is serious, not the...
It's not, it would never happen.
No, I know that.
I'm not, yeah, but...
They're saying they're saying they're on the hook for $10,000. That's what this guy said.
Deputies to delete the photos. No response to the lawsuit from the sheriff's department. Alex.
They have a $10,000 line of credit, or they actually owe $10,000?
Angry spectators.
It says they're on the hook for it. How else would that? I mean, that means they.
Well, they said they signed it. They had a fake signature on it.
Yeah, no, but did they take out?
And they stole his Social Security.
Sensitive areas. Eventually, the performance was canceled. Spain has reported an increase in COVID-19.
I can't wait to find out what actually happened. First of all, I bet there's no fucking money missing anywhere, period, end of story. I bet he gave them the Social Security number to run the credit to see if he could qualify.
Just text the word fish to 39.
Well, that's how he's saying it. He's just saying it.
But why would he blow it up like this?
Fish to 39747 and watch Newsmax TV on all major cable systems. Check your guide. Plus,
that's serious accusation of crime. There's no way.
Trump or Biden. Text fish to 39.
And he's saying they charged him $1,500 for a bid. Did you see that part?
No. That's not what they're saying. We were told the bid would be $1,500 more if we waited a day.
Oh, okay.
At CDW, we get it.
Somebody actually opened it up to business.
Services from NetApp that simplify management and accelerate digital.
Well, he said he talked to Wells Fargo and he's on the hook for a $10,000.
CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/NetApp.
I just have no idea.
Okay, how do you sell it?
Another side, there's like.
The Gallagher Amendment, which created a formula for assessing property taxes. Businessman Camp Theory says Gallagher places an undue burden on small businesses.
They're killing small business with the cumulative effect of Gallagher. When you kill small business, you end up killing the community ultimately, and that's the bleeding.
What are they talking about? What is it? What are they talking about? What is Gallagher?
By state lawmakers on the ballot, a yes vote would repeal the Gallagher Amendment.
Please peep responsibly? Are they really telling peepers to peep responsibly?
They must be where they're driving to go look at the colors, the changing colors. That's probably what it means. You got to watch where you drive, not drive on private property and stuff. You're going to see all the people go up to look at the leaves.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the latest. I'm Susan Whitkin.
What do they call it? The turning of the aspen.
This report is sponsored by Denver Streets Partnership.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic
Center. They call it fall.
I-70 just before Colorado has.
I'll tell you, this Betfred did not place these ads properly.
And there's a minor
They should have said at betfred.com.
Volume flowing on westbound 270 through Commerce City, but the rest of the highway drive around town looking good. Off freeway, there's
I tell you, I get that debate.
It's going to be fucking gold.
It's going to have more people watching than anything all year long.
I'm telling you, if Obama,
I love it. It's Chris Wallace, too.
He's pretty good.
But if Obama, if Biden comes off not looking like an Alzheimer's case, it wouldn't be election.
Oh, get out of here.
You don't think that there's so many people in the middle that won't vote for Biden because they think he's forgetful and he has no mental capacity?
Well, you're voting for Biden if they put a Supreme Court justice.
Absolutely.
Doc, I think that's the silliest thing you've ever said. Yeah. Even though you thought WHO was all legitimate.
You know the Democrats would do the same thing.
No, the reason is I want there to be balance. So
you don't believe a Supreme Court justice should rule on the Constitution?
I believe they should.
Well,
but they don't. Huh? But they don't.
The liberal ones don't.
Sometimes it gets confusing.
No, they say it's a living document and they can...
Okay, Nancy and Becky.
They should do as far as how they see their presentation science.
Listen here, buddy. Doc's never said he's not a liberal. God. Seriously. I voted for Obama twice.
I know it.
I don't know why that drives you. I'm a little upset I did the second round, but the first time I'd still... Who did he run against first time?
Oh, I agree. The first time was
fucking Palin and McCain?
McCain is not a conservative.
McCain, it was basically a Democrat running against a better Democrat who was Obama.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Who'd you vote
you're
for?
Right.
Did you vote either Obama or McCain back at the first run? Do you even remember?
Actually, looking back, I'm glad Obama won because McCain will look like a dork anyway.
It's the Troubleshooter Show.
And Palin.
Easier, and we're here to help you any way we can. So all you have to do is give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, so Bennett wants to ask about public adjusters. Go ahead, Bennett. What's happening?
Well, Tom, first of all, you've got one hell of a staff.
Yeah, we do. We do. We love it.
My question is, I don't have any hail damage yet, but let's say I do, and I call J. Brett or Johnson Roofing. Should I still call a public adjuster?
Yes, because their job is not to negotiate with the roofing. Now, they can negotiate like this. They can say to the roofer, we believe this is damaged, this is damaged, this is damaged, and the insurance company can disagree, and they can say, no, they really do need this flashing done, but they can't go beyond that. Like, for example, if there's windows affected or mold, or there's different kinds of damages under the eaves that get to the structure of the house, or they're not allowed to, actually. They're not licensed to do that. So a public adjuster is licensed to do this and qualified to do it. So no matter what the claim, I would always consult a public adjuster. You don't have to sign a contract with them, but consult them. They themselves will tell you if it's worth their time. They will not even take a case if they can't make a lot of money. So a lot of money to them translates a lot of money to you. It's just a good system the way it is. So you would call them and say, what do you think? Now, you know, there are many cases that don't need a public adjuster, okay? If it's just simply, you know, what would you say, Mark? Like just a really simple roof repair or something, but they'd be the first ones to tell you, we can't do you any good here.
I can tell you this. I have no doubt if you use a public adjuster, your claim will be higher. I don't care if it's a $3,000 claim or a $100,000 claim.
But they'll be the first ones to tell you, though, Mark, right? They'll tell you if they don't think they can do any good.
Well, yeah, or they'll tell you if it's going to be such peanuts, it doesn't matter.
Right, right. That's the point I'm trying to make. You'll never go wrong by calling
I'll tell you where they come through big time and we don't talk about, because generally in Colorado we're talking about hail. But if you ever have flooding in your house, whether the hail created it or a broken pipe, I'm not talking about flooding where your insurance won't cover it, but flooding that is covered by insurance. Oh man, you have no idea how much money they'll try to screw you out of, these insurance companies.
So that's the answer. Definitely call someone to help you. They're experts. That's what they do. People, give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Nancy, what's going on with your bank?
Hello.
Hey.
Not my bank, but I got 2 emails from Wood Forest National Bank, and someone took out 2 debit cards. One was for $200 and one was for $175. And one of the debits they took out was inmate phone number.
Hold on, Nancy. Nancy, where was this taken out? Where is this bank located?
They have a branch in Houston is where this email came from. But they also have a national banks.
What did the email want you to do? Why did they send you the email?
It's just to report on how much is spent out of the debit cards. And I tried to call the bank, but they said I had to give them my Social Security number, and I'm afraid to give that out to anybody.
You can give that to a bank. I mean, they're not going to scam you.
As long as you call the bank. It's not the bank calling you.
Yeah. Is it a real bank?
Oh.
Is it a real bank?
Well, I think so. It was listed on Google.
That's the only way they can associate it with you.
Well, listen, I wouldn't mind. I mean, if I'm trying to track down a fraud, as long as I'm not talking to the fraudster or the con people, but it sounds like you called a bank. Like if I called Wells Fargo and said, listen, I think somebody opened up an account in my name, and they say, well, what's your social? I would give it to them. I mean, I don't...
Okay.
I would not call the number on that email, though. I would figure out if it's a real bank, then call the one on Google.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
that's what I
Dan's
did.
looking at it. It's huge. They got 800 branches.
Yeah, I would for sure call them and cooperate with them. I'm trying to figure out why, I still can't figure out why people's names and addresses are used to open bank accounts.
Listen, they funnel either PPP loans or unemployment into those accounts.
You mean fraudulent funds?
Fraudulent, and then they have the debit card to get them out. That's why they do it. I have no doubt about that.
And then when they want to track people down, they go to the people that are hapless victims.
That's right. They'd go to her going, hey, that unemployment money needs to come back. And she goes, what?
Okay. All right. So that's, Nancy, something definitely is going on. You need to contact that bank and tell them that these accounts are fraudulent, and by no uncertain terms, get it terminated.
I got to ask you a question, Tommy.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole judge deal? You got to say something about it.
Okay, again, people, this is an important issue, isn't it? I don't think much of it, Mark. Here's what I think. I think that is the question, should they try to fill the vacancy?
Well, that's a yes. The Constitution says they have to.
Yeah, but I mean, with the election so close and then the change of power, should they wait? Now, really and technically, there's no reason to wait. They have all the power till January 20th. Would the Democrats fill it too? Of course they would.
Of course, and what a lot of people say is, well, they didn't vote on it, but what people don't realize is the same party didn't have the Senate and the presidency at the time, so it didn't even matter. It would have never went through.
Now, here's the thing.
But you're wrong.
I wouldn't mind if people have different opinions, but you're asking me, do I think they should fill the post? Of course they should. It's vacant. They should fill it. That's their duty.
And I think the other side would.
There is no constitutional mandate to fill the post.
Nobody says there is a mandate.
Mark did. Mark said they have to.
It's their duty.
It's their duty.
I said.
Why?
They swore to it.
Well, hold on. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
I'm not. All I'm saying is
I'm asking why wouldn't you fill it? If there's a vacancy, you have until January 20th. You have all the votes. Why wouldn't you do it?
I'm not saying you wouldn't, but Mark is saying they have an obligation.
He never said. He said it was their duty.
It's not their duty.
Yes, it is.
It is the president's duty
it's
to
exactly
put a nomination up.
Doc, I'm sorry.
It's the Senate's duty to put them through.
But they could leave it at 8 if they wanted to.
Oh, I guess they could put it up at 75.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, indefinitely they can leave it at 8?
Yes. There's nowhere in the Constitution where it says how many judges have to be on the Supreme Court.
Then
wait a minute. Hold on.
What would happen if it is an even number?
Hold on. Are you telling me there can be more than 9?
Of course.
There can be 12?
There can be any number.
18,
it's not
20?
There's not a number specified in the Constitution.
So wait a minute. Hold on. This is new information to me.
In the 1930s...
There is no requirement to have 9 justices. It's just tradition.
That is correct.
Yes.
Is that for honest to goodness? See, I didn't know that.
Well,
so there could be 5.
When they say the Democrats want to pack the court, they would add 9 people while they had the presidency in the Senate. Then you would have, 18 on there?
No, there wouldn't.
That's what they talk about when they say pack the court.
And that's
but I thought, you sure there's no limit?
I'm positive.
But they're not going to do that because it would be insane. Because then when the Republicans got back in, next thing you know, our Supreme Court would have 7,000 people on it.
But they can't fire them, right? So once they're appointed.
Once you're appointed, they're there forever.
In the 1930s, FDR had a very conservative court. And he said, unless you pass these measures on my social programs, I'm going to appoint more justices. And then the Congress backed down and kept it at 9. And that's where the whole threat of packing the court came from. But there is nowhere in the Constitution where it says the number of judges.
Well, that's news to me, actually.
Okay.
Congress, after the war, passed legislation to reduce the court to 7 justices. That only lasted until 1869, when a new Judiciary Act put the number back to 9. So there is a law that puts it back to 9.
It's not in the Constitution.
Well, I don't care if it's in the Constitution. It's in the law. There's a law.
But Doc's point is they can change that.
Right, they can change that.
Well, they can change the law. That's right. But right now, the law...
Without 2/3, they could probably do it with just a majority vote.
Right, which is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what laws are passed by. But there is a law that says there are 9 seats. Right? There's a law.
Right, but it's not constitutional. That's all I'm saying.
But how many laws are... I mean, there are tons of laws that aren't in the Constitution. Yeah. Right? I mean...
But what I'm saying is if the Congress decided to make it 12, 15, 18, they would vote on it.
That's
and
right.
Then
they
Democrats would have to have all 3 branches to do that, or vice versa.
But anyway, now I understand. It's not a constitutional limit,
right?
And many of the offices are, but it is a law.
Think about if there was only 8 on either side. What would happen if something gets to the Supreme Court? We should ask Ross or someone. What happens with a split vote? What the hell happens?
Then it's
well, hold on. If it's a tie.
Yeah, what happens if it's a split decision?
Then what happens is that the case goes back.
A tie.
The case goes back to the lower court's decision. So if you won in a circuit court,
I got you. So it would get kicked back. It would go back to the last ruling.
Right. The circuit court decision would stand.
Geez, okay. Let's say it was a split decision in Bush versus Gore. What the hell would happen then, Doc?
That's why the Republicans are saying we need to have an odd number of people on the court so we don't run into a constitutional crisis with the election.
God, that would be insane.
So I'm looking up what happens in a tie. It says although rare, ties hardly are unheard of. And okay, but it can happen if somebody recused themselves. A split decision effectively upholds the ruling of the lower court. So, okay,
right, that's what we said.
So nothing would happen.
Yeah, but go on to read this very, very terse often.
Got a break soon?
When a deadlock occurs, the case is not deemed to have set any precedent. Well, okay. So
here's Bush versus Gore. I was just saying that.
With Bush versus, would be a lot long. Well, I don't know. It doesn't say anything. The judgment is affirmed by an equally divided court. It is safe to bet that the opinion in Kerry versus Bush or Bush versus Kerry would be a lot longer than
Going to break.
Anyway, we got more coming up.
Clear. Master Root.
So that's why the Republicans are saying they need to get a ninth judge. So you don't have a constitutional crisis with the election.
You're first. He still doesn't understand I'm on the same channel. It confuses him still. I looked up this research raccoon. It's pretty cool.
But what is it for?
Anything. Yeah, let's say you own a pizza place and you want to know if everybody in this one area, what's their favorite toppings. They'll come back and they'll do it for you. Basically, they're polling people.
But instant polling.
Well, pretty close.
That's a cool idea.
All right, Master Rooter Plumbing, 24/7 emergency service. And check this out. If you ever need a sewer line replacement, they can save you up to 100%. Now, what did I mean by that? I'll tell you what. If another company tells you you need a sewer line replacement and you call Master Rooter and you don't need one, they just saved you 100%. In fact, that happened on the show last week. These are trustworthy Master Rooter plumbers that I have personally used that will save you a lot of money. Write the number down if you ever need a plumber. 720-434-3406 or check them out at referralist.com. You got Century?
Yeah.
So they got to pass this act before if they ever did that.
Did you know there's been a great increase in RV sales, recreational vehicles? Because of the airlines and all the hassles in traveling, people are discovering RVs. If you're going to discover one, do it at CentryRV.com. Century RV with a C. Century. They have a location at exit 240 and I-25 and also just west of the city, north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims next to Woodley, with great pricing on new and used and service too. 303-453-1111.
You know, Trump was actually throwing, whose name out there for it? Who's the senator that ran against somebody? Ted Cruz. I think Ted Cruz would be a good one.
I think he would be too, but I don't think he'd get the vote.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. It'd be a tough one.
He's an attorney, so you know, Tom. It's not like he's just a senator.
He's a smart guy.
Who's that?
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
Oh yeah.
But that would be so weird. If you haven't sat on the bench, I don't think you should be.
They were talking about doing Hillary if
I wouldn't approve fucking Ted Cruz. No way.
Why?
Because he's not a fucking judge.
You don't have to be a judge.
I didn't say you had to be. I said I wouldn't fucking do it. No, you have to be a lawyer.
No, you do not.
Okay, whatever.
There are no qualifications.
Right here, look at it. Okay, this is where we bet. Where we bet?
If that's true, I find it crazy. So our president has to be 35 years old or whatever, but a Supreme Court justice can be an 8-year-old. There's no qualifications.
Apparently there isn't.
They don't have to be lawyers.
There are no official.
They don't have to be lawyers, by the way.
Right. They don't have to.
I win again. This is for all
okay.
lunches.
So you're saying an 8-year-old? Yeah. I will bet you.
Yes.
How much you want to bet on the 8-year-old?
I would have to say they'd be of legal age.
Not according to Dan.
It doesn't specify that in the Constitution.
Mark's went off. Been after him before.
No, it says right here, the Constitution spells out age, citizenship, and residency. Oh, no, for becoming a president? God, maybe you're right. Maybe you really could put an 8-year-old up there. I find that fucking crazy.
I don't think they would do it, though.
Well, I would hope not. Hey, Trump might. His grandson.
Well, they got the same IQ of Biden, so they might.
Did you bet $100, Dan?
Yes, it was 200. $200.
I wouldn't touch that. He was too. I can always tell when Dan knows what he's talking about because it happens so rarely.
Because I open my lips.
That was crazy. No qualifications spelled out. Well, really, all this is saying is spelled out in the Constitution.
Right.
So you're saying there's no rules we abide by?
Well, there might be a law. There might be
Judiciary Act might say that. That's where it said number 9. So they actually got to have to pass an act to pack the court.
A law.
Yeah.
6
act, law.
I didn't know this. 6 justices have been foreign born. I did not know that. Australia. I mean, these are pretty old school. I guess when we first fucking started the country,
they asked Ruth Bader Ginsburg how many women would be enough on the court. She said 9. She said we've had 9 men forever, and no one ever thought anything about it.
And she was old and decrepit.
I thought she was great.
I do.
RBG?
She was very smart.
No, she had a whole thing that justices made laws.
No matter what, though, she was a woman of conviction. She didn't bullshit.
She had conviction, but let her conviction. If you have bad convictions, doesn't mean
she didn't have bad convictions.
Yes, she did.
She fucking all the rulings she made for people.
Her constitution was a living document, basically, and asked society.
Dan, I understand that, but she really believes that's the difference. She doesn't just believe it when it's good for her.
Tom Martino.
You do it for political.
Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, so, yeah, there is no constitutional mandate or constitutional requirements or constitutional much regarding the Supreme Court, except the existence of the Supreme Court. But you can probably put an 8-year-old on there. Technically not, but I mean, you can put a person on there, and they don't have to be attorneys. They don't have to be judges. They don't have to be, anything they want. Now, here's the deal, though. There is a law that says there are 9 justices. That's a congressional law, which means they can change the law and pack the court if they wanted to. I never knew that. I thought it was set in stone.
This is amazing. 114 justices have been appointed. 49 have had law degrees. Oh, Less than half did not even have a degree in the law.
I did not know that. Wow.
18 attended some law school but never received a degree.
I think I'd make a good justice.
And 47 received their legal education without any law school
Spread the word.
attendance.
I bet you I could be a good justice.
You could be nominated.
I think so. I've had some legal training in law school and all of that. I think I could do it.
Well, in some states, you can just take the bar, right? And if you pass, you're a lawyer.
Right. And also, yeah. You know, I always brag about passing the bar in New York, but here's the point. You don't have to be a lawyer to be on the Supreme Court. So if anybody wants to throw my name in the ring, I'll do it. Hey, what's going on, Doug? What's happening?
Yeah, Tom, listened to you for over 25 years.
God, I love these guys today calling in. I've had so many long-time listeners. Thank you so much. 25 years. So what's going on in your life, Doug? What do you want to comment on?
Well, you made comments on the gal that called about a bank, and she Googled their number, and they wanted her Social Security number.
Right, but this was a real bank, though. This was a real bank, and I said, if you call a real bank and they're trying to track down an account, I would have no problem with giving my social. Did you have a comment on that?
Well, I had a email from Amazon, and I did not call the phone number because I knew better.
Right.
And I Googled customer service Amazon, and the phone number that came up, I called.
Was
and
it
the gal
fake?
couldn't even speak English, and eventually I just hung up on her, and I got a hold of my account at Amazon, and they said, no, you just because you Google, you can get an erroneous phone number.
He's actually very correct.
You're right. If you do that,
and that could be done for a bank too.
You're right. Nothing guarantees if you Google something, you're going to get the genuine deal. You're right. You're right.
Yep, that's all I.
That's a good point.
I ran into that. Figured I Googled Amazon customer service, and the phone number popped up, and when I talked to the gals, they said, no, that's not one of our numbers, but we have that problem. So they must have a way of throwing that on to Google, and then you grab it, So
I was in my 40s when you started listening. I was a young man.
It's a long time, but I've learned so much, whether it be, in fact, I can remember way back. I'm just retired from the crop spraying business.
Yeah, wow.
I was up here in Greeley, Colorado. But I remember when you and your boy flew the helicopter up to the Greeley airport and had a bad experience with our
what an idiot that was. I flew up to have breakfast, and they asked me what I'm doing behind the gate. And I said, I landed here. They said, people aren't allowed on the ramp, pedestrian traffic. And so they said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm having breakfast, and I landed here. So I guess they thought I was investigating something because of who I was, they said. And I said, look, man, I just came here to have breakfast. You remember that. That's something. Yeah, that was.
Because I'm on the airport. My hangar's there, and now we got fences everywhere.
Hey, how long does it take a guy to tell you?
So listen, thank you very much, by the way. Thank you for calling. And, boy, I'll tell you, one time I landed at the Greeley airport. Listen to this. And I saw 25 jets, corporate, beautiful, shiny, multi-million-dollar jets, 25 of them lined up.
What was the deal?
Bird hunting. I swear to God. All these rich guys from all over the country
go to Greeley.
They landed there for some reason, and it was bird hunting. And they had their kennels and all this stuff. And I swear to you, I did not realize that was such a big allure. That they all go there. Doug, are you still on, Doug? Are you still there? Doug?
I'm here.
Doug.
Kersey, Anschutz has a big reserve.
Oh, so is it up near Greeley?
Yeah, Kersey is just 20 miles east of Greeley, but it's on the Platte River, and he has a big game preserve, and he has a bunch of fat cats fly in, and they go hunting.
Yes, and isn't it true you can see 25 jets lined up on the ramp?
Well, I've seen quite a few jets. I've never seen 25,
I have.
but I've seen several.
I couldn't believe
when I see that many, it's usually the Anschutz deal.
When is the bird season? When is that?
Well, that'll be coming up. It depends if you're hunting geese and ducks.
Oh, I see.
And what have you. And he's got a ranch just right across from Ted Helton.
That's why.
Ted Helton is right across the river from him there with a private piece.
Well, thank you, Doug. I appreciate you giving me that information. So it's Anschutz they're going to see, who is a Colorado billionaire. And you know what? That's fun. We ought to sick Bernie Sanders on them next time they're there, or hand out Bernie Sanders pamphlets.
Why?
You know, because they're fat cats. That term. You know, billionaires.
Yeah, but Anschutz
billionaires.
Donates a ton.
They all do. Well, I've never heard of a billionaire that doesn't donate.
Bill Gates donated half his wealth, I think, at one point.
You know, he said he's leaving a portion of it to heirs and most of it to charities.
No, same with Buffett, I heard.
Yeah. Anyway, people, we got a lot to talk about, and open lines at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I got them. This.
Clear. Hey, Tom, you got both of these? I don't think you've done either today.
I haven't done it.
Yeah. I got to do it. Johnson.
Did you know Johnson's, look, here's the two spots coming up.
What about
Johnson Construction and Zero Res. Both of them, if you spell them backwards, equal the same thing.
No, they...
I was not saying both of them. But if you put that 60 in it, it's no longer does.
I like how they break them up. God, you ever see Daphne spelling on here? Don't you just fucking can't believe it?
What's that?
Some of Daphne.
Oh my God, I know it.
It's mind-blowing. I thought mine was bad.
No, it's funny.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's your diction that's a little rough.
My diction.
Never take your pick almost every time for follow-up is F-A-L-L. Fallow.
She spells bird. G-I-Y-L.
No, she doesn't.
RoofsByJohnson.com. That's the website for Johnson Roofing and Restoration, a Colorado-owned and operated and a company born here in Colorado in the early 2000s by Chase Johnson. He wants to be a roofer that will exceed your expectations. He doesn't take any money up front. He doesn't take any money while he goes. He just wants 100% satisfaction when he's done. He collects. And there are no penalties or hidden clauses. He wants to, as I said, exceed your expectations and earn the job every day. RoofsByJohnson.com. Don't take chances with roofing. It's an important step in the repair of your home. 303-719-ROOF. Residential roofing of all kinds, including hail-proof roofing, and he's a tile expert as well, plus commercial roofing, even flat roofing. That's RoofsByJohnson.com. 303-719-ROOF.
Not only was she a stewardess, but she was also a clown. I had no
ZeroResDenver.com. Okay.
She was a real clown.
Mark, one of my girlfriends was a...
She made a lot of money.
These guys started talking,
It took
and I
her
was
10
trying to
seconds
shut them up.
to
That's
tell
what the
people
pause was.
it's as bad as pilots, flight attendants.
Oh, yeah.
They let you know within 5 minutes.
Oh, every pilot. It's great. We'll let people call up to the show.
I've never
I
done
got a problem with my car. Oh, by the way, I fly.
Right.
They only do that because of me. That's the only reason. The guys who've listened
I had
to
a
me.
manager that did this to almost everybody. Seriously, he really did.
I've seen it. I've seen it
That's why
happen.
he got the joke.
We were sitting in
You've never heard me do it?
Marciano's.
No,
and it
I have
happened.
not you. I'm saying the
All right,
manager.
zero. It's okay.
Or an artist.
What do you call that thing when you say it backwards and forwards, or you spell it and it's the same thing? It's a palindrome.
Palindrome.
That's a palindrome. Zero Res, no matter how you spell it. And ZeroResDenver.com is the website. You know what they do? They do extraordinary carpet cleaning with empowered water, and they will kill pathogens on contact. And they can also do flat surfaces with ZR Shield. If it's cleanliness and sanitation you're looking for, Zero Res is the company. Cleaning and disinfecting everything, and you can do it for just starting at like $30 a room for that ZR Shield. That's incredible stuff, especially for businesses. It will kill viruses and bacteria and continues to leave a protective surface for up to 90 days. ZeroResDenver.com for clean, wonderful carpets. I use them in my home. They make your carpets like new without any soaps or emulsifiers. 3 rooms for just $99. ZeroResDenver.com.
So I was in Maggiano's, and the waiter came up to the table next to us and said, "What would you like to drink, sir?" He goes, "I'm a pilot." Just like that.
I'm a pilot. I can't drink. I'm on the clock.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
serious.
Let me think of the next time I'll be flying.
You're just jealous. That's okay.
I'm serious, Tom, that manager and stuff. At least 3 times meet new clients.
Because he controls
did that. Jealous.
He owns his own money.
I'm jealous. I'd love to be a pilot.
Not me.
Not me. I have no.
When I was growing up,
there is something about it, like Kyle, man. I mean, he always wanted to be a pilot.
Ever since the small little helicopter he said he was...
Oh, that's right. He told that story.
I love it. I just love it.
Hey, I hope Sunshine is going to transvestite.
What does that mean? What does that mean on line one? I mean, let's all take a stab at it.
Blowing sunshine. That means brown nose. Blowing smoke.
Is that really?
Yeah.
You think he's going to be blowing smoke?
About the show, maybe, or about me. That's what blowing sunshine usually means.
Well, if that's true, then it would be about me, not you.
Could be.
You might have low testosterone.
Maybe about my flying ability.
Maybe Sunshine's getting a blowjob.
Oh, so it is. Blowing something is telling someone a lie, but one that's pleasing to the person being lied to.
Oh, so he is going to be talking to you.
False flattery.
So Mark, this is for labeling companies. Okay.
There's like,
I'm gonna
look. I don't get rid of the box. But there's like 10 of these.
This, right?
Yeah, I'm saying don't throw away the box though, because if it breaks.
I want to keep my.
But there's like 10 of these in the box.
I want to keep the manual. I'm going to look for it.
Call us today at 720.
I'm going to get the manual for this.
That would have been hot.
The road say, okay. Manual road R. Is that 0 or O?
This says flattery is not a lie, though, right? Isn't flattery just...
It's not a lie.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay, people, I think we finally hit it when it comes to this remote equipment. This is flawless. It sounds good. We can finally put up multiple mics without cracking and hissing, and we like it. So 303-713-TALK. Okay, Carlos, what's going on, sir? What's happening?
Hey, Tom. Nice to talk to you again. How are you?
Yes, sir. Good. What's happening with you?
Well, I was driving home listening in and hearing that last guy tell about how long he's been listening to you. Now, you really can't come close to that, but I moved to Colorado in 1997 and landed on your show almost immediately. And I'll tell you, I've learned as much as possible from you. You've given me an education that is beyond.
Thank you. Say, Carlos, where'd you move from?
I'm originally from New York. I lived there and in Connecticut. I grew up watching Betty Furness and Mike Boguslawski in Connecticut. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah, I know, of course. Betty Furness was a consumer reporter. Back then, when consumer reporters, she was one of the first on TV, and consumer reporters back then would do things like market basket reports, like on the food prices, the cost of milk and the cost of eggs. And then they didn't start busting balls until Geraldo Rivera. He worked for WABC in New York, and and then and then I started in upstate New York, but in 73, 74. So Carlos, out of curiosity, where in New York were you?
The Bronx.
Do you remember, we were talking about the local show Howard Stern used to have on TV. Do you remember that?
Well, I might have been away from the city by then. I left when I was 18, but I do remember him on the radio.
Yeah, of course. And he had a local TV show, and it was crazy. It was just nuts. There were a lot of local TV shows in New York that never went anywhere else, but they were really good. And there was a little guy, Franklin. Joe Franklin, was it? A little guy had a talk show, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there was the guy who used to lose his mind all the time, talking about the pablum puking liberals. Remember him?
Yep. I forget his name.
I do too. I just totally forgot it too.
Well, there was a Joe Pine, and I don't know Joe Pine. I think he was.
Yeah, I remember that name too.
There were crazy people. New York spawned a lot of crazy people. Carlos, thanks for the memories. I appreciate that. Well, that's pretty cool.
I also wanted to throw one more memory at you too. I was in a field at a ranch up in just south of Hyannis, Nebraska, and north of Arthur, and you landed in your helicopter there with someone else for the Great American Eclipse.
I know it. I was with Ross Kaminsky. We went up to look at the. We went up there to look at the eclipse. It was so much fun.
We had spent the night up there, and we woke up that morning, and we were just shrouded in fog. And I thought that we had just picked the wrong place. But, boy, I'll tell you, about 2 hours later, all that fog just burned off, and you were there.
How cool was that? I could not believe how dark it got. Did it get dark in Denver, guys? Did it get really dark in Denver that day? Because we were like... It was so cool. It was the first time I ever experienced anything like that, but it was nighttime. Did it get like nighttime here? It was like damn near.
Not quite like that, but it got dark.
And we couldn't believe it. And then so you go from daylight to nighttime to daylight again. It was so cool. Yeah, that was a great memory, too. When will that happen again, the eclipse? How often does that happen?
They happen quite a bit.
But in this part of the country, though, that was the whole idea.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, right. So, Carlos, thanks again. Ben. So, Carlos ran into me twice in weird ways. So, anyway, folks, if you need any help, information, referrals, we have a few minutes left. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, here's a little tidbit of information. Do you know, like, when you have a flash flood, how much water is bad to drive in? First of all, obviously, if it's really high or you're going through a wave or something and it gets into your intake, you are done. Hydrolocking an engine, you're done. It'll never be back. It'll be bad. The other rule of thumb somebody told me was the bottom of the doors. Never go above the bottom of the doors. And then after that, make sure you dry the car out.
That's what I always heard, bottom of the doors.
The bottom of the doors. But as far as these big giant storms, when it splashes up, as you drive through, if it gets into your intake, your air intake, usually it won't because it's under the hood, but it can. And if it does, that'll definitely ruin your engine. I mean, it's like it's a thing you can't recover from. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Yeah, Mark?
When you heard the War of the Worlds, the actual original radio broadcast where they thought the aliens were
shut
coming,
up. I didn't hear that.
What did you think?
I never heard that. But, I'll tell you one thing I did. I mean, what did you see that was live on TV that you can recall that was an amazing thing? I was watching that launch of that rocket that exploded with the teacher on board, Sally Ride.
I watched that live in middle school. They brought a TV into our cafeteria.
Oh, my God.
No kidding.
It was so surprising. No one really got we didn't really know what was happening at the time. Even the announcers didn't know.
What about the moon landing?
And then the moon landing, I watched that live. I watched Neil Armstrong.
I wasn't alive.
9/11, I watched the second one live.
I was watching Katie Couric and Matt Lauer.
And the second plane, I watched that one live. Oh, I remember I watched Lee Harvey Oswald getting shot by Jack Ruby live. It was live TV. They were pulling him out of the courthouse, it was a perp walk of some kind.
Could you tell what happened?
You could tell. You could hear the commotion. You heard a shot. Oh my God! It was unbelievable.
How about Kennedy getting shot?
No. That wasn't. Well, that might have been televised, but I didn't see that live. No. In fact, no, I don't think that was being broadcast live. But we were in school when that happened, and then the announcer came over. It was a Catholic school, and the announcer came over saying, terrible news, children. The President of the United States has been shot and killed. And then we all got down and kneeled and prayed, and then they let us out. So we went home, and I remember getting out and watching. Then I was watching the TV, and I don't know if it was the next day or whenever it was, but it was...
That's crazy.
It was when... Ruby shot him. I saw that live on TV. It's amazing, though, some of the things.
Do you think there's any conspiracy theory there?
Oh my God!
They always talk about the grassy
God, there
knoll.
was so. You know what? I don't know if we'll ever know the true impact, or not the true impact, but the true details of that assassination.
Like, did the government know anything, or did they cover up anything afterwards?
I mean, you're asking a personal opinion. They had something called the Warren Commission. The Warren Commission whitewashed everything. That for sure wasn't right. But we do know, though, that there were two main schools of thought: organized crime and Cuba. Castro and his ilk, and organized crime. They wanted to get rid of him, and you know, there's so many theories on it. I don't know if anyone.
It seems so convenient that guy got killed right afterwards. That apparently killed him. I mean, there's no one to talk anymore.
You know, talk about politics in those days. You know. He was screwing around with women, and they never reported on it. Oh,
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, but they knew about it, but they never reported on it.
Hey, guys.
Yes.
Did you hear about the JFK assassination theory that apparently he was going to at some point allow the U.S. Treasury to begin printing money as well as the Federal Reserve Bank? And one of the big conspiracy theories is that the families that own the Federal Reserve Bank had him assassinated for that very reason because they wanted,
You mean like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds
and the Rothschilds and all that? Yeah.
I never heard that
big documentary on that.
I never heard that theory, but man, I'll tell you what. If you listen to a lot of conspiracy theorists, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are responsible for most everything. And I don't mean to laugh it off. I don't really know enough about conspiracies to call them all foolish, but a lot of them, they're pretty far-reaching and ridiculous. But I will say that those days, though, in politics...
Different.
They were not bitter. My God, they were really respectful of each other, and even the winner and the loser. I don't remember the dirt, and definitely not the hostility. Oh, my goodness. But then again, back then, mostly everything was kind of conservative. It really was. And even if you disagreed, like President Kennedy, he was pretty conservative. I mean, he was way more liberal than conservatives were, but he was more on the conservative side of liberalism, and everyone loved him. Even his opponents loved him.
Everything was way more middle of the road back then.
That's what I think. We weren't so polar opposites. Now, I got to remind you, though, women were pretty downtrodden, so were blacks. I mean, I'm looking back on it fondly, and there might be some guys saying, wait, Tom, I'm a black kid, and I couldn't do this or that. So that's kind of a little myopic on my part. But it didn't seem to be so, I don't know, hateful when it came to disagreeing. We have more coming right up.
That they said they found 3 bullets, and one didn't match
the other one,
and they think that
that was the grassy knoll.
No. They say that what happened was when the Secret Service agent jumped up on the car, the bullet came out of his gun and killed Kennedy, and they never did a forensic on his right.
Just remember, she reached back and grabbed part of his head.
I'm just telling you what this theory was.
When I was leaving a baseball game in New York one time, I got spit on by a player.
Hey, the homeless Olympics, we looked it up. You sure it wasn't the homeless Hollywood Squares?
That was another one. There was definitely two.
Did you? We couldn't find it on YouTube.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, shopping cart races.
He'd pay him to do shit, basically.
Did they do rickshaws?
But, his show was basically meant for young males with a high school mentality.
All right. GetFoundFast.com. GetFoundFast.com. The name says it all. They help your company's website get noticed, and they give you free information if you call them or get in touch with them. They will give you a free analysis of your website, the organization, the content, how it loads, and if it's found on search engines. All of that is a free analysis. And all you have to do is go to getfoundfast.com and get hooked up. Getfoundfast.com. Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney. And my message here is don't shop when you're under pressure. Please, it's the worst time to do it. Find out who you can use now. Joe Lazzara. Put the name away, put the number away, 303-429-6200.
Yeah, I can't find anything on it either.
On the Homeless Olympics? Oh no, man, I watched it.
I've seen it before on YouTube, but it's so funny how they're gone. I wonder if he tried to whitewash it out of there.
Okay, I searched for pro manual.
But just think of Kennedy. You say, I know he's much liberal. Look at what he said in his speech, his inauguration speech. They would say that would be like a Trump statement. Ask not what you can do. Ask not what.
Mark, here, look at, they have the page. Wait, I thought they had the manual. This is the road Class A servo.
No. It's called No. It's called the road. Here, it's right on the box.
Affix
Roadcaster Pro. Roadcaster, one word. Roadcaster Pro. There you go. You can pump this into software too.
Here somebody says, did you know women couldn't even have their own checking account without their husband signing off in 1970?
Well, thank God.
Why have a lot of people done away with? Why have they done away with owner's manuals, for God's sakes?
I told you, they're on those cards. That's the whole thing.
Well, come on, man.
What the hell do you want to know about this?
Shut up. I want a manual. Come on.
Hey, did your headphones come with a manual?
I got it right here.
Watch, it's going to be a PDF of that big card. Seriously, when you bought a fork, did it come with a manual? Hey Doc, last time you ordered a pizza, did it come with instructions?
It did, because the way Tom orders it, you can't eat it. You can't eat it the way you eat a normal pizza.
I cannot find those shopping cart races.
You can't beat the rickshaws.
Did you pay more than $5.99?
Remember, Doug?
They're the same price everywhere. It's $5.99 plus tax.
Kramer slaps him on the back after his duscles.
All they have is all they have is that stupid thing, that quick start.
I told you. What part don't you get on your?
Wait a minute.
You figured it. He already figured it out, and he wants a manual.
No, I want to program these.
Oh, it's going to be on that card. It'll tell you how to program them.
All right.
You got to hook it up USB, then you basically hit record.
I will.
Tom, I want you to, after the show, look up Investopedia and read on Bitcoin. And if you understand it, explain it to me, because it goes into exactly the kind of detail you wanted to know.
It's called Roadcaster?
Yeah, Roadcaster Pro. That thing works great, though, man. It is the cat's meow. That means it's good.
No, people like it. It's the best song.
You guys going to play racquetball today?
Yep.
You got to go let Mud out?
Yeah, I got to go back there. I'm cooking some chicken for him.
Your dog's fucking spoiled, bro.
Man, he won't even eat dry dog food unless I put something on there.
I would never feed any kind of wet dog food or cat food. I find it the most disgusting shit in the world.
Oh, the stuff out of a can?
Anything, cat food, anything that's wet is disgusting when it comes to dog food.
Well, what the dogs chicken? I know when you eat it, you don't like it. But what about when dogs eat it?
My dogs would never have it, so I
don't think so?
I couldn't tell you.
I'll bet you they'd eat it.
Oh, I guarantee they'd eat it. I'm saying they'd never eat it because I'd never give it to them.
It's not good for their teeth.
My new one's dog food is fucking expensive, man.
It is.
It's 34% protein.
Well, that's what I say. Why chicken you get for 97 cents a pound?
Because it's a pain in the ass to deal with.
Okay, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. We don't have any calls, but we could get them in last minute. But if you don't get in the next few minutes, you're not. So what did we learn today? Well, we learned about bankruptcy, and Chapter 7 definitely has filing limits. And it goes by household income, not individual income. And you can build credit quickly if you establish credit or keep some account, one or two accounts on a credit card if you want. Do not reaffirm, but keep paying on them. There's no law that says you can't pay on them. And if they keep it open, that will help you establish credit afterwards. Also, if you've had trusts when it comes to bankruptcy and they've been established many years prior, there is a possibility that the assets of the trust can be preserved, especially if they're non-revocable trusts. By the way, if you have any concerns and you need dependable people, don't forget referralist.com. Now, we have heard a lot about branded titles. There is a way to, and the reason this came up the other day, and somebody told me that looking at a title doesn't always protect you. If you look at a title and it has an S on it, it means it's been salvaged. However, there is a way to wash a title. We've all heard this before, but do you know what they actually mean? What they mean is, if you take that car and retitle it in another state, some states do not carry the S designation. They simply will give you a title. Then you take the title back to Colorado and get another title, and the S is gone. That's what they say when they say wash the title. So that will not always tell you, the S, if a car is salvaged. If it's not there, it still could be a salvaged car. So what do you do to protect yourself? Carfax is a good indication if something has been salvaged, but not everybody reports to Carfax. So when you get a car checked out, it's very, very important. You not only get the motor. Everyone thinks checking the engine when they think checking a car. You should also check the body, the actual body and the frame, the crush zones, the welds, to make sure there's no evidence of this car being chopped or put together in a haphazard way. Anyway, those are some quick tips based on calls that we took. And of course, we invite you to call 24/7 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. But right now, we have to go. And remember, referralist.com, help, information, and referrals, and save all your problems for me.
Here. Follow Tom Martino.
See y'all.
This is